Are you ready for Christmas, Dirk? I don't
No.
think I'm ready for it yet.
I just don't believe it's a thing. I'm done.
Is there any way we can convince them to push it back by a month? Because I need a little bit more prep. Can we push it back a month? Because fucking January is a boring month anyway, right?
January is the worst month in the world. It is
the original calendar is like going back way before the Gregorian calendar. They didn't include January and February as part of the year. They were the final months to actually be named, because it was just considered a dormant dead month where animals go into hibernation and people just sat in caves scratching their balls,
Why don't we? We should just be put into hypersleep for 2 months, because it's just what is the guy that goes in there? What is the animal that does that? If he sees his shadow, what is he? The groundhog.
Groundhog, yeah.
Yeah. I would just want to be a bear and go to sleep. I mean, what's in January? My sister's birthday's on the 4th, and then there's nothing else. It's just cold, and New York is just the worst, ugliest place. January and February. March, there's some signs of life. And then April is magic again.
Mind you, if you removed Thanksgiving and Christmas from the end of November and December, they would probably then become the most boring, depressing months of the year.
Well, it depends on where you are, because in New York, obviously, as you know, I mean, sometimes you can have an 80-degree Thanksgiving. It was in the 70s. New York is so fucked up. We don't have seasons like we used to have. We just don't. It just goes from like hot, kind of mild, and freezing. It was so cold last night. I went to the shops to go get a couple of groceries, and I don't wear gloves. And I was like, man, I need a pair of gloves. It was absolutely.
Every man needs a pair of gloves. Every man.
Well, now that you have do you have them there? Can you show everybody your new bespoke, gorgeous guanti?
No, they're somewhere. They're over there.
Yeah, custom-made cunty gloves. They're not guanti, they're cunty.
I like that. Listen, you need
gloves. Do you have a pair of cunty?
I was 20 years in New York, and there were never there was winter and summer. That was it. There was no autumn. There was no.
I remember spring as a kid.
A week.
There was spring, man. I remember because we used to walk from our house to our Catholic parochial school in like a grammar school, and we would walk through the prettiest neighborhood. We were just outside of Jamaica Estates. Jamaica Estates is gorgeous, and we were a block from there, and then we'd walk there, and the trees, the canopies covering the roadways would drop all the the seedlings and all the beautiful stuff. All the greenery would be on the wet floor, and March and April were just glorious. There was spring. I don't see that here at all. I don't see it. Global warming, my friends. We've done something to the earth. There's too many people on the planet.
You know what? But the earth will out survive it. I love that old George Carlin thing talking about, it's kind of almost a little bit like against the global warming crowd, but in the end, it turns out not to be. He's like, you think that the world can't survive. It survived ice ages and collisions, comets, and so on. You think it can't survive us with our stupid fucking plastic straws? Yes, it can. We won't be able to survive it.
Right. No, I know. I mean, the truth of the matter
we're the lot that are we're going to be fucked. The earth will be just dandy.
Yeah, we will make it so bad that we can't survive, and then it'll go into a certain age, like the post-human age, and then it'll clean itself up and be ready for whatever comes next. The next asteroid with elements to create whatever it creates.
Indeed.
It will be called
Yeah, it'd be a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll discover a warp drive and get us off this planet and fly across the universe.
I mean, we watch so much of that kind of content, and You know, and then you see like because all my feed on YouTube is the same, you know. Now it's all Breitling because I opened up my big trap. But it's like, why we'll never leave the solar system. You know, that's the headlines. It catches me like science discover time travel.
Tonight we're going to talk about the Rolex thing. Rolex were hit with a $100 million fine, but I'm also going to show some extra gift ideas for you guys watching, because I was going to do a Christmas gifts part 2, and I don't think I'm going to get around to it, so I'm going to slide it in. I could have done it on Friday on Who Needs a Drink, but by Friday it's too late because Christmas is Monday. It's too late for you guys to run out and buy last minute gifts. So I'm going to throw in a gift every after we finish various topics. I'm going to start with one before we get into the Rolex thing. Being sued by the French, I'm going to actually talk about this really quick. This is Rebecca Strutter's book, Hands of Time.
Beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful book. Yes. And I had Rebecca, of course, on one of the Serious Watch Talk episodes a few months back. And this is a really, really amazing book about the history of timekeeping and watches. She's, of course, a watchmaker herself. Hands of Time. It's selling out all over the place. Everybody's loving it. After you finish reading this book, you are a super expert on really how it's all done and the history of the entire thing.
Is she as good a watchmaker as Nico Leonard?
Oh, no, she could never dream of being as great as... You want to see Nico change a strap. It's incredible. Wow. And she of course, doesn't know how to paint little stupid Mickey Mouse middle fingers on the dial. That's above her pay grade. She just deals with fine horology in gold and labors over a watch for up to 6 years at a time.
Wow.
Anyway, if you want to listen to the true experts, this is one of them. Rebecca Strutter's. BBC have featured it and everything. She doesn't need my plug, I swear. But I'm going to throw it out there anyway, because she did send me this beautiful copy of the book. And there is an audio book version also on audible.com. She does not narrate it. I believe there's an actor who does, or an actress. But Hands of Time, really good reading. And if you want to get the audio book and listen to it on the train on the way to work in the morning or whatever, you're going to learn such incredible, valuable information on the history of watchmaking.
I will definitely put that in my stocking because I would love to read that book.
Great idea, man. So Rolex got hit with this $100 million suit, or fine rather. They were after them for a few other things as well. Let me pull up a link here. Watch Pro have a little thing on it. I might as well go to that. Incredible. It seems to be to do with the way you can't just go on. You can't go online and just like on Amazon and go add to cart, check out and have the thing shipped to you in a box like you can with many brands.
Ooh, Sky Dweller.
Clickety-click. And I guess there was one idea. Basically, they're being fined for clamping down. This is where they violated things, because of course Rolex don't sell directly to anyone. They sell their watches to authorized dealers who then in turn sell them for them. So you would think then it's up to the authorized dealer to put the price on it and to, delegate, figure out how they're going to, sell to their locals and so on, or online or whatever. But Rolex are kind of micromanaging, like breathing down your neck, staring over your shoulder about how you do it. So they don't want to sell to the people, but they want to dictate to the ADs how to sell to the people. So one example, of course, would be the fact that when you buy a Rolex, if you're lucky enough to be offered a Rolex at the AD, once you say, yes, let's go ahead with it, and you start pulling out your credit card or whatever, they de-sticker the watch. That's a relatively new thing. I mean, in the past 3-4 years. They will de-sticker the watch. It's part of the rules, and if they don't do it, they could get in trouble from Rolex, which is kind of crazy stuff. And a lot of people complained for a little while as well. Some ADs were retaining the warranty card also for up to 12 months. And there was uproar over that.
Who are they? The archdiocese? I mean, what are they, crazy? That's like the Vatican telling, all the parishes all over the world what they can do. Now, explain this to me in layman's terms. I think a lot of people don't know or kind of know. So all those stores that you see that are all decked out like that in Rolex regalia, all the branding, who pays for that?
That's a very good question. I believe that all those signs and stuff are paid for by Rolex. Like once you're allowed into the circle, you become an authorized dealer. You then probably get all this stuff. Now, that one there seems to be Rolex only, but they will stipulate how many windows of your store. If you sell other brands, they will tell you how many windows of your store. Their largest windows need to be Rolex. Rolex needs to have its own display. It has to have its own section. There's all sorts of rules that you have to stick to. But I'm not sure. It's a very good question. Like if the AD has to shell out themselves for these displays, I certainly hope not, because these things aren't fucking cheap. These are really. I've seen actually this. When some of these guys they get booted out of the Rolex circle, so to speak, like they lose their AD membership, if that's what you call it, and then they sell off all of this stuff, the displays, the things you bring out, the watches, you place them on the trays, that clock there that's sticking out there from the wall laterally.
I bet it's quartz.
There's no doubt that thing is quartz. So let me just read what's going on. One of the, of course, maybe the most important thing that they force you to do, you cannot sell online. So France's competition authority, the equivalent of the U.S. Justice Department, Antitrust Department, has fined Rolex $100 million for preventing its authorized dealers selling new watches online. Rolex has a worldwide policy of only selling its watches through official jewelers, brick and mortar stores, with online used only for marketing of new watches. Rolex does not sell directly to customers online. Let me skip down through what happened here. This is going back a few years. This actually predates, it would seem, all the craziness that's been going on in the watch world in the past few years. France's competition authority opened its investigation into Rolex back in 2017.
Wow.
Following complaints from Union de la Bougetterie Horlogerie and Pellegrin and Fils, which I guess is a prominent AD. This led to a raid of Rolex's French offices in 2019. Pellegrin and Fils, I'm probably saying that the wrong way, Pellegrin et Fils. Yeah. A former Rolex D said it had been cut out from the network of partners in 2013 with no justification. So this seems to be what set it all in motion. The retailer's lawyers said the eviction came after it tried to convince Rolex to allow it to sell its watches online and suggested it was signed out to make it an example to other partners to keep them in line. Rolex has declined to comment, but is free to appeal to the Paris Court of Appeal. And you know how the French are about their freedom and so on like this. You don't kind of, I mean, they did build a fucking Statue of Liberty and all, and they're very about, all of that. So
it was like a gift from the French government. I watched the whole documentary, man. They were like, no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah. This fucking cigar is just not. I think I have a dud cigar somehow. Strange. Anyway,
that cigar last night, and you were done with it in about 35 seconds.
Yeah, well, the other one, the nice one, yeah.
Cut it in half.
The other one I cut in half. Maybe I'll smoke the second half of that. Anyway, it is crazy. I mean, apparently they were also going after them for controlling the prices because, you know, Rolex AD, they have, you know, the box arrives and there's a few stainless steel sports in there, but then there's ladies, they just with mother of pearl dial and shit like that. And they know that shit is going to sit in their window for years. And, you know, I think a lot of these ADs, particularly in the past few years, would have loved to bump up the prices, but they're not allowed to bump up the prices. Only a secondary market can do that. They have to sell at the recommended retail price, which must have been very painful when it was 50,000 on the gray market for a Rolex Daytona, Panda Daytona, and they had to sell it for 12.
Isn't that why they have the authorized pre-owned bullshit now?
There are many reasons for that too. But apparently Rolex kind of won their argument there with that. Rolex kind of came back with the argument that they were trying to for the prices, they came back with the argument saying that they were trying to curb the whole secondary market thing, and they won the argument. But with the other thing, they were trying. What was their argument again? I'll look it up now. They had a counter argument which was rejected by the court, which is why the fine went ahead. And yeah, they had some sort of counter argument. Let's see what it's in Bloomberg. I'll pull it up now for you guys. So yeah, it's pretty wild. 100 million, of course, it ain't a lot of change for these guys, but it's something. I mean, it's not nothing.
It's less than what they probably have to pay in tax, right?
Probably, yeah. Bloomberg, of course, is behind a paywall. Thanks so
that was me last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so annoying. I wanted to get the nitty gritty, the details. It doesn't look like it's been released exactly. Because I looked after the show last night.
Okay, so they were saying, yeah, the Autorité de la Concurrence rejected justifications from Rolex French unit that an online ban was justified by the need to combat counterfeiting and parallel trade. What the hell is parallel trade? The fuck is parallel trade? Let me look it up. Sounds is that when you have two? Is that when you have two people bought the same product and there's only one available? Is that what it is? I don't know. Let me look it up.
It's a good question.
What are your thoughts on this anyway, Dirk?
I have two lanes of thought on this. I mean, I think the whole idea that these people, first of all, what's the bump up? The MSRP is you go on Rolex's website, and that's what the AD sells it for. You're not buying it directly from them. So obviously they're selling them that watch for something considerably cheaper. Do we know what that margin is?
Well, they're buying it. The rumor has it that the AD gets about a 35 to 40% markup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's
which is why before the past 4 or 5 years, when Rolex are basically worth their weight in gold or more, or considerably more, which is why you were able to get a discount for many people. There are people in the watch community who remember getting a stainless steel Submariner with a 10% discount. Gone are those days, man. They're never coming back, probably.
No.
And you could get a Daytona. Daytona was never a popular model back many years ago. You could get one of those at a discount. By the way, parallel trade is when they buy products in countries where they're sold at lower prices and sell them in high price countries. That's parallel trade.
Like Apple.
So I guess that was their argument, which was rejected. Yeah, so they get about 35% to 40%. Apparently, that these are the figures.
Is that not enough? 40% markup? Is that not enough?
That's enough for most people.
That's a lot. Wow.
That's nice, but like, you know, when you know that you're giving somebody a Daytona for 12 grand.
Yeah.
Or whatever they are now, 14. Things keep going up. By the way, news is coming in from all directions today that they're going to bump up their prices once again on January 1st. So I reckon that's probably in the pipeline. But how much by and in which territories, we've yet to see. But, you know, it's fairly predictable that they're going to do that. They do that every 6 months or so. And And but yeah, I mean, look, it's got to be a problem when you're handing someone a Panda Daytona for whatever they go for now, and you know the dude is going to step out the door with a watch that costs, that he can get a lot more for. I mean, it's not as bad now, but if you get a Panda Daytona today for whatever 14, 15, let me look up the price of them. You can shift it for 25 to 30 fairly easily straight away, especially if it's the brand new model.
Sure.
So, you'll hear a lot of people going, oh, the watch market is dead, and then running off to jerk off in the bathroom or whatever. But the truth is that the watch market has just kind of returned to where it was, because when you can get profit on a Rolex watch straight away, certainly on certain models, then the watch market is very much still alive, just not exactly the same beast it was 18 months ago. That's all.
Let's get Billy in here because we got a super chat, so I don't want to.
Yeah,
Ding,
pull
ding.
it up there.
eBay authenticators. Who are these people? It doesn't instill any confidence in buying an expensive vintage watch. Complete anonymity.
Okay, that's way off the point, but let's address
it's off the point. But,
the
thank you.
eBay have a new authentication system because there was a lot of shitty watches being sold on eBay for years. So now there's an authentication where you send it to eBay first and then it gets sold on. Who are these authenticators? Can they be trusted? What sort of system? How long do they spend authenticating the watch? That they take it out of the bag, look at it for 3 seconds and say, yeah, it's good? Or do they spend a whole day on it? Who knows? He has a point. It's just completely off what we're talking about right now. Let me look at the Oyster Steel here, the Panda. I just want to know the price, because isn't this funny? Like, I actually don't know the price of a fucking Panda Daytona. Okay, so it's
$15,000. Yeah.
15.2 in 15.2 in euros.
So
that's 16 or whatever in dollars. So
that you're on that. Let me go on the Rolex American side. It's always a fun thing.
Of course, you have to count in tax. We don't do the tax dance that you guys do in the States. So whatever it is, you have to add state tax on.
Rolex watches. Let's go to Daytona. Oh, okay.
JD, Nico's not a watchmaker. Yeah, we know that. We were being facetious about that.
Really?
We know.
He's not?
It's the big joke going around.
I mean, he's going to get a big, nasty letter from the kind folks at Disney. That's what's going to happen.
I know. That is true.
Okay. Let me go find it. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me go find Daytona. Ozempic Daytona. Okay, where's the price is at the bottom, right?
Yeah, pull up the screen so we can see you navigate it there.
Oh, you want to see me navigate it?
So sure, yeah. It's nice to click around if it's easy.
Yeah, it is. How about that new theme tune, kids? You guys enjoy that? It was fun, right? Looks great. Everybody said they liked it.
Gotta go to the top, man.
Oh, to the toppity top.
Yeah, no, well, not. You go configure on the top right there. Configure.
Oh, configure. Okay, see. This is how often I'm on the Rolex site.
Well, they changed the whole thing a while back. Hit start. Now go to the very bottom left, Oyster Steel.
Oyster Steel.
Now hit dial, because there are 2 dials.
Yeah.
Okay. How much is it?
15,100.
Okay. Which is about 14.5 in euros, but then you have to add the tax. So in New York, that would be 8.24, right?
So are you getting that for 15,200 euros, and that's the final price?
Yes.
Oh, so the tax is already included.
Always. Again, we don't
do
that shit.
Grand is 8.2578%. Oh, New York.
Yeah. Adds up. It comes in somewhere along the same. But that parallel trading thing they're talking about, if there was a certain point 18 months ago when the whole market went all funny and crypto crashed and everything started, we came off the spike with watches, etc. And for about 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, the sterling was the same as the euro. And that was fucking crazy, because that meant a person could jump on a plane and fly to Britain and buy a watch at a major discount, because sterling is still a very, very strong currency.
It's incredible how that sterling just holds on.
You could fly over and have a weekend in London and pick up the watch and not lose a dime, and come back to Italy or to Europe or whatever. So that's parallel trading, I guess, Carl and Martin, remember, for 8 months. Great to see you here, Carl and Dirk. The markup of 30% is great, but remember, the average AD sells less than 100 watches per year, and they don't all cost 20,000 or more.
Really?
This is a problem. I mean, the ADs struggle. They really do struggle. And it's, we hate it when we hear those stories about ADs going, listen, I can't give you a stainless steel. Imagine how many people walk in every day going,
all day,
the Submariner in black, and or the Pepsi GMT or whatever. And we hear those stories where they say, listen, it's really hard, it's a long list, but if you want to get on that list, if you want to push yourself up, buy this Breitling, buy some earrings for the wife, buy that necklace, buy a few things that we can't sell that are sitting here in the store. And then we'll talk. And that's horrible, and that's a manipulation. On the other hand, there's a strong argument to be made saying these guys are fucking trying to keep their nose above water as it is. All the really desired Rolex come into the store and fly out of their hands in a second, because there's a list of 5,000 guys that want them. So it's like they don't even get to put it in their display, which is nice now. They have the displays. They're not for sale, but at least they have the goddamn watches on display. But for the longest time, they were empty displays all over the world. The Rolex display had nothing in it, and all the other displays were full. So I'm sure they have difficulty. They're trying to turn a profit. They're trying to pay their staff. And it must be very frustrating when everybody just wants a black Submariner or a Pepsi GMT, and nobody wants the Lady Datejust, mother of pearl or whatever,
Why don't they strike? If all of the Rolex ADs all over the world decided we're going to go on a strike and Rolex stopped selling watches for X amount of time, wouldn't that send a clear message?
Yeah, strike always sends a clear message. The problem is getting people to do it.
Right. I mean, that would poke the bear hard, okay, because it's like, the way we were talking earlier about the ADs, have to sell it for that price. But the secondary market, that's the ticket master of the watch world. They get the verified pre-sales, but the AD's not allowed to do that. But they're kind of allowed to do it now with verified pre-owned. So it's like they almost gave them a little tasty taste, but not so much.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think you can, let me go on the Bucharest site. I think you can add to cart on the Bucharest site for a Rolex, for a CPO Rolex.
Come on.
Yeah, I think you can, because it is it's a verified pre-owned watch, So I don't know. Let me pull it up here. Let's take a look. Let's play around with this. No, by the way, that's finally, I believe, CPOs, finally, the kinks are being kicked out of it. At first, it was like a joke because they were so much more expensive. That was a problem. And I think the gray market heaved a sigh of relief, because they're like, oh, thank God we're not done. Because they were thinking, is this the end of us completely? Whereas the prices were ridiculous. But I think the prices now are lowering, now that more of these stores are getting the CPO watches. And now, of course, in the spirit of free trade, they have to compete. Because once you have once you have monopoly, it's one of the great arguments against communism in the world. Once you have monopoly, then you have full control and you can run riot. Let me see here. Yeah, so there's a no-date sub. This is the previous generation. You won't see many of the newest generation on the pre-owned program. That's the previous one there. You can tell by the slightly wider lugs and the not as wide bracelet, and the lack of corona or crown there between Swiss and made under the 6 indice. And call us, contact us.
Yeah.
Check store availability. Look, and you can ask them. I'm not seeing an add to cart checkout.
And then there's that. Nathaniel Hannon, $4.99. Hey, Nathaniel. Bucher is now owned by Rolex, so good luck getting them in Tourneau to cooperate with the strike. Well, there you have it, because now they are directly selling to their people because they own those two, and they're the two biggest. Certainly in New York, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I've ever known that's ever bought a really expensive timepiece in New York City has gone to Tourneau, the Tourneau corner. It's been a part of New York life for my entire lifetime. And now it's Bucher. Okay, well, yeah, they're owned by Rolex now. So here you go. Now, is that so it's totally against their whole business model now to actually. So now they're directly selling to the punters.
Well, they're not officially. They just own Bucher.
Well,
It's not the same.
She's not my hooker.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't own her, but you know, I get my percentage directly from her.
Yeah.
Her wares.
I don't own her, but she just miraculously does everything I tell her to do.
Right.
You know. That's essentially what's happening. Let me make another suggestion for Christmas gift while I'm at it. If you guys, I know I'm always talking about Barolo and Barbaresco on the channel. It's because I'm sitting in Italy. If I could talk about more French, I would, because I'm actually truly a French wine fan above all. But if you want something that's a little bit slightly different to Barolo, Barbaresco, but not the thick marmalade texture of the Tuscan, the Super Tuscans, the Sassicaillas, the Tignanellos, the Ornellayas, and all of that, go for Etna. So Etna is a volcano down in Sicily, and they recently they've been making some fantastic wines. Very, very interesting. Not thick. It won't put you to sleep on Christmas Day. It'll wash your turkey dinner down, or your ham dinner, or whatever you're having down nicely. Similar kind of vibe, same percentage, 14% alcohol, similar kind of vibe to a Barolo, different grape, of course, completely different thing, but same kind of consistency. However, Etna Rosso does have a thing that the French have, and the Italians, no one else can figure out, and that is mineralité. They have minerality in their wines because, of course, there's volcanic ash all over the place, which adds a certain mineral quality, potassium, various other components and so on in the terroir, in the ground. So you will get a certain minerality of stone and rock and ash and smoke and things like that somewhere inside the wine. Etna Rosso, this particular one is Cota Nera. I've been shown a lot of different ones. Donna Fugata is a very famous one. This one's a little higher quality, Cota Nera, and they have various different levels. Try out an Etna Rosso. As you can see, there's no shoulder on the bottle, so that's just like a Barolo or a Burgundy. Yeah, so
that's DOC, right?
No, they don't have a classification down there yet.
I think it says DOC on the bottle, doesn't it?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant DOCG.
Oh no, DOCG is the Garantita, right?
Yeah, that's the DOCG is the real one. That's what you'll always. Barolo will always have DOCG. So will Super Tuscans, because that's the real shit. DOC is nothing to really brag about, because DOC, it's not like AOC in France. It's something to brag about. DOC is like, yeah, it's a wine. That's what that is. DOCG is like, oh no, we're a historic region and we have strict rules and we have to, everything. It's like, quality control, but yeah, it's DOC because it is a region for wine. So of course they're going to get DOC classification. But again, it's not somebody just making their wine in their kitchen, So those guys don't even get DOC. And there are a lot of those guys here in Italy.
Only the northern shit gets that stuff.
The northerners, there's a lot of people just fucking making wine in their bath and shit in Italy. Sure. That's the problem.
I've never had a shitty glass of wine in Italy. Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
I've had local ones. I've had lots of shitty
You live there. Like I always tell people that we went out for lunch in the mountains and we drank wine out of the wall, and it was freaking fabulous.
Well, yeah,
it was in a spigot.
The standard is higher, but you can get a shitty ass glass of wine if you're not careful here. Ooh. Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Not like you can here. It's way shittier here. Are you opening up that bottle now?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a bottle of wine for tonight. What should I get? Because Maestro is premiering on Netflix today.
Oh,
So
that'd be
tonight,
great.
I'm going to make dinner and finally get to see the movie I've been waiting for forever and ever and ever. And I guess it's Leonard Bernstein. So I should get like where was Mahler from? Was he? Oh, where was Mahler from?
Gustav Mahler.
Yeah. Was he Viennese?
No, I believe he was German.
He was German.
Look it up for me right there.
I'm gonna Gustav Mahler. G-U-S.
Yeah, he's very famous for his conducting of the second symphony, correct? Yeah.
Vienna.
Oh, Vienna. So he's okay.
Yep. I don't really like
My
Germanic
bad.
wines as much as I've tried. I just don't.
Jesus, this is fucking really good.
Let's see the cork. Show us the cork.
The cork doesn't have anything particular to it, and the bottle hasn't been stowed on the side. And Barolos don't leave much of a mark in the cork.
They
anyway,
don't.
So
They don't.
really, those kind of wines don't do that. They don't grip the cork. I'm hiding the glass because the sediment. I had a French wine in it earlier. This shitload of sediment still in the glass, so it doesn't look good. I love it too. I had a Chateau Larrey.
Oh, well. He was in a wine store in his little sojourn last night or the other day, and I was looking at the wines he was looking at, and I was like, oh, he's so fucked. He's going to, oh no, there was such good shit. There was Baron there, and there was all kinds of crazy stuff. And the prices, like, I wish the prices were that here. Oh my God.
Well, they had an Aubryon like a 1990 or something, or
just sitting there
or something,
yeah,
for $750. I want to spend the $750. Those days,
no, $750 is not. I'll chip in on for that.
Yeah, sure. If you're over here, we'll chip in together.
Yeah, we'll chip in. We'll get it.
I don't want to drink Aubryon by myself. It'll still be there for sure. I'm not.
The only time I've ever had Aubryon was the time I got it for your birthday, like 100 years ago. I got it for $125 at that wine store on Madison Avenue that was closing down, and some Indian guys had bought it, and they were like, "How much you want to pay for that?" And I went, $50. It was in 1981.
I remember.
And I said,
just $50.
$1 off.
1 year
yeah,
off.
It was 1 year off. And he looks at me, $150. I'm like, oh, that's too expensive. This is very old. This could be bad.
We don't want the old wine. I want the fresh.
Give us the fresh wine. We'll always go back to the jerk, won't we? I got it for $125 to that bottle, and it was really good. It was the only time I've ever had Haut-Brion. We've had all the other shit a lot, but
do Barolos keep well, or is there a time when it goes past its best? You can expect, a finely made Barolo, one of the good ones, you can expect it to last about 20 years at the broader edge. Yeah. After that, you should probably get that thing open pretty soon. But it won't last like an Ornellaia will, or something really thick and heavy, or a Cali Cab. Those things, who knows how long they last? We've yet to find out, because
after we destroy the planet and they'll be drinking that stuff.
They'll be drinking all that. Yeah, the bottles will still be there.
You have to brush your teeth after that.
Yeah,
turn purple.
Yeah, it's really thick. Marmelata, as they call it here. So anyway, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen now. I mean, I guess they can appeal this thing. Will they? Won't they? And if they go ahead and pay it, are they now going to be forced in France? The French the fine is for 10 years of this sort of thing going on. This is what they're going back 10 years, saying you guys have been basically forcing retailers to sell your watches in a certain manner. You're interfering in the trade of your product. And that's basically seems to be the gist of what they're getting at. Are Rolex going to have to change their tune now? Are they going to have to say, okay, well, what was the name of that store again? Fil, whatever it was. Where are they gone?
Petit Gris and Fil.
Pellegrin et Fil. Are they going to be allowed to sell? Well, they're out now. They're not even a
they're
Rolex
out.
AD anymore. But are they going to change things across France? You're going to be able to add a watch to basket. It doesn't make any sense to me. Even, I mean, I would love them to just do that, and I'm all about government intervention into these things, because people, if left to their own devices, will do all sorts of fucking crazy shit. This is why
get them started. Don't get them started. They have their shotguns on their lawn. Get off my lawn.
Right.
Don't get them started. You know who's here right now. Shh, come on. Shh, don't upset him.
So I mean, like, if you let a boss of a company just run riot, he'll fucking abuse the shit out of his own fucking employees and so on. They'll do anything they can to make more money. This is the way it works. So you need someone to step in and go, now, you're allowed to make lots of money, but please, don't make people come in, an extra hour early, or make them, like they do in Japan, certain parts of Japan, race, or in China, I should say, race to the toilet. You get up, you're on an assembly line. If you want to go to the bathroom, you can't walk to the bathroom. You have to run to the bathroom. Like shit like this, trying to cut corners in all sorts of ways. Someone's got to come in and fucking curb that kind of shit. So that's cool, but I just don't understand. Like, what are they going to do? They get one Submariner in every 3 weeks, and it's already delegated to someone. So what the hell are they going to do? Is it going to be like Taylor Swift tickets? Like, people, they're ready with their 40 Chrome tabs open on different computers, ready to click each one to see if one of them goes through.
That was me. That was me for Kate Bush.
For Kate Bush, right?
That was me, and I got in right away. And then,
wouldn't that be interesting? Like, if it was a Rolex AD, Jesus, that wine is good. Oh my god! Saying like, okay, at midnight we have 2 Pepsis or something arriving, and they're going on sale at midnight, and you had like 40,000 guys out there ready to just click on buy it now. Like, that would be just nuts. I don't see that working.
No.
And I think it would cheapen the brand a lot. I think the fact that you have to, it's the same with Patek and AP and Vacheron. You have to go in and you have to have a rapport with the
exclusivity is a thing that people love and want, because if you could just go and click it, more people would have it, and it wouldn't be what it is. People don't have Kelly bags. People just don't have them. They don't have Birkin bags, but they all want them. But they can't have them. Everybody wants a Rolex Milgauss, don't they? Oh, sorry.
Let's have a look. Meanwhile, your green screen is fucking it up again.
It's not. It looks good, right?
Oh, it looks perfect.
I
don't see any green. No, it doesn't work. No, I can.
It won't let you have the green, but
I can. And the center of the indices is disappearing too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I got some new lights for overhead lights to make my green screen even better, and all it did was ruin it.
Oh, really?
I was like, yeah, it was. I have to toy around with it, because there is a way to be able to have green in the foreground and keep it from distracting everybody from the back. I just haven't figured out that formula, but I will. Little tweaks that you do.
I'm rocking my Tudor again. Just love this.
Look at that. It's a beautiful piece. Is that a 43?
No, this is actually technically 41, but I feel like it wears like a 42 or 43.
It does. It looks big. It's beefy.
Yeah,
the Tudor's beefy.
Tudors are beefy.
Yeah, it's a man's watch. It's a man's watch. That gold is very gold.
It's also brushed. These aren't PCLs. They're satin,
like this. So polished.
Yeah.
So shiny, so glittery, so glittery.
Anyhow,
I have this guy
down
the block at the hardware store, and he has a bluesy on. And I always, have my Speedy on. We talk about watches. He knows about the channels and stuff. And I go in the other day because I'm getting some ducts for this thing outside. And I see him just staring at my wrist. He's just staring at me. He goes, dude. He's from Armenia. He goes, dude, Milgauss.
He said, dude,
Milgauss. Did I freeze?
Yeah, you've disappeared somehow.
the hell is that?
Change something?
I did nothing.
It's like got a plus sign. Let me remove you and add you. No.
Huh.
You've turned into a ghost, Dirk. Super chat. What a rare thing. We don't get super chats for some reason on these episodes. I don't know why. What's happened? HST 499. Thanks so much, HSC. Very, very much appreciated. Good evening, gents. Would appreciate your advice on Redbreast as an Xmas gift. What a great idea, man. 12-year or 15-year price is not a concern. I would say, you want to reboot your shit there, Dirk, because there's something going on. I would say 12-year, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a common misconception about whiskeys that the older it is, the better it is. That's not necessarily the case. Now, we know whiskeys can age for a very, very long time. But as whiskeys do, they change and they become stronger. For example, the alcohol and ethanol overpowers in many cases the flavor of the whiskey. 12 years is not a young whiskey. It's the nice old whiskey. Your average Jameson whiskey you see behind the bar all around the world is only 4 years old. A 12-year-old aged whiskey of any sort, be it Irish in the case of Redbreast or Scotch or bourbon for that matter, that's plenty of years in the barrel. But now I would make the argument, and it's often said, that the sweet spots with whiskeys are 10 or 12 years, which is why you hear 12-year a lot with various different whiskeys, and then jump up to the 18 or the 21 or 25, because between those years, the whiskey can tend to be in a transitional stage, moving from one thing to another. And some people find some odd coloring, some aromatic argument going on in the whiskey in the 15, 16, 17 years stages until it finally arrives at its next position at 18 years or 20 years or 21 years. So the Redbreast 15 is a beautiful whiskey. You will not regret buying it or gifting it to someone. But I would say that the 12 is more agreeable. Yeah, you fixed it, man. I don't know what went on.
I know what happened.
What happened?
My battery on my phone. I thought my phone was plugged in, but my battery was dead.
Oh, your battery died. Well, your background
battery on my
phone.
I have it plugged in, and it wasn't plugged into the outlet.
All right, fair enough. So I would say HST. I would say go for the 12, especially if they've never had it before. If they know Redbreast really well and they drink it all the time, they've probably had plenty of 12. In which case, the 15 is a more special gift. But that's a different reason to buy it for them. If they've never had it before and you're introducing it to them, start with the 12. That's a good place to start. Good enough? That's what you get for your very generous super chat, my friend. What's the next topic we're going to talk about?
Oh, look at that. I missed it.
Space Ace 249. Thanks so much. Considering the Breitling Avenger 43. I love all of is that the new one, the Avenger?
Yeah, the Avenger's beautiful.
Yeah. Look, I'm a fan of Breitling. I'm a fan. I really am. I think they do great stuff. Unfortunately, they've lost their command over the market, but I think they're just still staying strong and doing nice stuff. Yeah, man, go for it. If you've got a decent sized wrist. Great thing about Breitling is they're very tool watches. They feel like the tool watch. They're not doing things to make things blingy. They're doing things to make things, functional and strong. It's a strong brand. There's no arguing with that.
They need to upgrade their website because it really looks like Macy's. It doesn't feel exclusive. It doesn't feel luxe. It just looks like AliExpress. Their website, their web design is really crap. Look at that. Look at all the attention to detail. Their dial, they make some of the most beautiful dials ever. Their color combinations, the work, applied indices, applied logos, exhibition case backs. We were talking about that last night. We were talking about the difference between the the gold watches and platinum watches that have exhibition case back. I mean, you're getting so much less precious metal now, and they're charging you double for it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, exhibition case back is only good in two cases. In two cases, when there's incredible level of horology going on, so you need to see that fucking thing. And if it's a steel watch, in any other case, you're probably best off not having it. It's so funny when small brands, I think, yeah, like Nomadic. This is a beautiful watch, and I already told everybody about it. It's a beautiful. I've been wearing it a lot lately. Lovely wintry dial, but they put an exhibition case back on it. For me, I mean, that's cute and all, but there's no need for that because we're not looking at a crazy ass movement. You know what I mean? I notice a lot of brands trying to put in the exhibition case back as a kind of a perk, but unless you're staring at a fucking 3-2-1 movement or a Patek Philippe, you know, or Côte de Genève or arabesque stripes or whatever, what's the point in looking at just a little rotor going around a regular old workhorse movement? There's no point, or at least that's where I come in on that topic.
I still have my coffee lid sticker on the back of my watch case. See it? It's a sticker that goes on top of my Nespresso pods because I have the actual sticker on the back of the Milgas and I don't want it to ever come off.
You've been babying this shit out of that watch so bad. It's great though. I love it.
It fits perfectly and it just right on there. I put it on once and that was it. And it's just like it's like baked on there now. I mean, I could pull it off easily, but I was like, wow, this is going to preserve it forever. That sticker is going to be on there forever because you were telling me that Emmett's is gone now. And I was like, oh no.
He's loving he's enjoying his watch. You're babying it, but that's okay. That's part of the fun.
But you know what the thing is? Listen, it's not a sub. A sub is a beefier, meatier, nastier watch. This is an oyster case with a very, very, I mean, if I fuck up that green crystal, I'm dead, you know?
No, you just bring it to Rolex, man. You're just going to have to pay for it.
Oh, God. That would be painful.
Yeah. Hey, you talk to the crowd for a minute. I'll be back in a sec. I don't need to grab a different cigar because this goddamn.
Grab a cigar. You're going to go far. Says Dirk is in the Matrix. No, actually, you know what? Oh, I'm at 10%. I had to plug my phone in. You know, you wouldn't believe the variables that have to go on before you do a live stream. For me, I have to get my audio together. This is a condenser microphone into a Focusrite preamp. Then I have to use a preset setting that I have for audio that's for the internet. It's wide spatial audio. So if you listen on AirPods or blah, blah, blah. Then I have to what did I forget to do? I forgot to charge my phone because I use my phone as my internet camera because I don't have like a DSLR. So I use my iPhone 14 because it's got that very, it's got 45 megapixel camera on it. And I have it slinged to my computer via this program called Camo, which I bought. So, or I think it's probably a year subscription. And it's really cool actually when I set it up. It's a great looking thing and it's got all this green screen option shit. And that's why when I decided to start doing Dirk weekdays, I was told to. Advised is a better word. This program is fantastic. It's like, we use StreamYard for this and Oisin's had that for a while. Like there's a lot of little components that go into getting your show on the road, be it audio or video or any of this stuff. So yeah. I mean, something as simple as I forgot to plug my phone in. I sound like my sister. My phone is dead. Oh, you'll be talking to, that sister of yours. And you go, oh, her phone died because it always does.
WJ74199, thanks so much. What I consider a big pilot, 46 or 43. Well, the 43 is not a big pilot. If you want to be purist about it, it's not the big pilot. The big pilot is the 46. However, the 46 is it's a dinner plate. And there's no shame in just scaling it back a little. I've had the 43 on my wrist and it looks fine. So just get the one you like.
Always get the one you like. Always. Easy says.
This is, of course.
God, I'm sorry.
This is, of course, iBashers. We talk about all sorts of stuff. It's not necessarily a watch show. Watch discussion is always welcome, of course.
Well, you must all have your dicks out because all we've been talking about is watches for the last hour. So simmer down now.
Now we're going to talk about. Now we're going to talk about Ozempic.
Ozempic. Now I remember. Did you know that song before that commercial?
No.
It's
magic.
A very, it's a big, huge hit song by a band called Pilot. Speaking of big Pilot. And it was a big song on the radio when I was a kid. Oh, it's magic, live and believe it's not so. Big one. Now it's like that guy got a call 45 years later. Hey, man, do you mind if we use your song for the biggest drug that's ever going to hit the market ever? That guy is so rich now.
So you're telling me they're using that song with altered lyrics for Ozempic?
Yes.
Because it's magic, because it makes you lose weight.
Well, they got rid of the word magic. Now they just go, Ozempic, la, 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 la.
That's the biggest payday of his life.
And he went in and recorded. They said, could you record
Big Pharma. Oh, he recorded it.
He did. He went in the studio. He's English. He went into the studio, went to Abbey Road.
He got a Big Pharma check.
He got the Big Pharma check.
There's no bigger check in the world than the Big Pharma check.
Ain't no shame in the Big Pharma check. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I'll take that because I always say, kids, there's nothing noble about being a starving artist. Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Bernini, all these motherfuckers, they were all on a payroll. And it was probably the Pope or the Medicis. They weren't starving.
Back in what's
Write that check. Pfizer or whoever makes. I don't even know who makes Ozempic. I talked about Ozempic last night because, I hit the over 165 on the scale, and I'm usually like in the 150s range. And I was like, shit, I want to do that. I know a couple of people who have hit the Ozempic trail, and it is, I don't give a shit about Ozempic face or Wegovy face or whatever it is, because everybody I know who's done it, I know you're not supposed to do it for 10 or 15 or 20 pounds. It's supposed to be if you have a weight problem or, it was originally for diabetes. But the whole, think of it. In 5 years' time, there will be no fat people. It's not going to exist anymore. We are going to eradicate being overweight, except for the fetishists who, and there'll be a whole new industry of all kinds of weird fat porn and
it'll be a rarity then. Yeah.
It'll be so rare that people will be like, yo, I miss that juicy ass, bro. Where that juicy ass? Where that juicy ass? It'll be gone because everyone's going to look like Adele. And listen, I don't mean to.
We definitely know Adele went on it, right?
Totally did. Of course she did. Before anybody knew any better.
Right.
Nobody knew anything about Ozempic. And she was the first one because she's the magic voice of the generation, isn't she? There's no other. She's the grande dame of chanteuse. And somebody opened up that drawer. My old guitar player, Jimmy from my old band, used to say, dude, I know when you get to Hollywood, they open up a drawer and they're like, this makes you skinny. This makes your hair grow. This makes it makes your tits bigger. This makes it. Well, guess what? It's true now. There really is a drawer.
There really is a drawer. I remember when we got signed, we were told that we would have to, there's a process after you get picked up by a record label before they're ready to promote you. You get scrubbed and dyed. Well, I'll never forget hearing that. I was like, is this really happening? Like, we're going to get scrubbed and dyed. What that means is they get all the, this band has been fucking lugging musical equipment and equipment around into bars all over New York and various places, living on pastrami sandwiches and egg rolls and so on.
New York egg sandwiches.
Yeah. And, are not looking as good as they could. You need to scrub and dye them. In other words, you need to put them on a diet. You need to cut their hair the right way. You need to get them looking as good as they possibly can. You need to put some decent clothes on them for photographs. You scrub and dye the talent.
That reminds me of Clip, clip here, clip, clip there, whether you're tin or bronze. That's how we give you savoir-faire in the merry old land of Oz. And she goes, can you even dye
She's
my
scrubbed.
eyes to match my gown?
She's being scrubbed and dyed. She's being scrubbed and dyed.
That's
in
where they
that
got that
scene.
from. Scrub, scrub here, dye, dye there. That's what we do with sharpened claws. That's how we give you savoir-faire in the merry old land of Oz. They go to the New You shop after they've been on the Yellow Brick Road for all that time. They get in there. The guy finally lets them in. Why didn't you tell me so? He lets them in.
Oh, that's a really good impersonation. Why did you tell me
The
so?
witches, Dorothy. Why didn't you say so? And he lets them in because she's on the broom surrounded Dorothy. And they go in there and they all go in there. Stuff here, stuff there. Because, he's out of hay because of all the shit that happened to them. And she
I
even
can't
says,
believe what I'm hearing.
can you even dye my eyes to match my gown? Jolly good fun. Da, da, da. It's the greatest score ever. It's fucking Harold Arlen and Yip Harburg. I mean, they wrote Over the Rainbow. And there's so much campy shit in there that you have to go, oh, fuck. And it's one
What's
guy.
going to happen now, like with models like Ashley Graham?
She's going to go away and we're going to be better off for it.
I think I mean, those legs are enormous now, I have to say. That's a lot.
She'll take your head clean off.
Which head?
No, it's like that's a 44 caliber Magnum, the biggest handgun in the world, and blow your head clean off.
It's a great line.
Yeah. To be honest with you, you know what? I just think that why can't we just
her,
look at,
or is she gonna go on Ozempic?
She's on it already. I bet you there's pictures of her thin now.
Yeah, let me see. Well, there was one already.
Whole thing. You know what? I liked it when body shaming was happening because it would make me want to be thin again, and it would make me starve myself and drink Vipicac and do all kinds of bad things.
Oh my God! Look at this, October 24th, 2023. The truth about Ashley Graham's weight loss, dude. You called it. You called it.
Of course. Oh yeah, there she goes.
So she's still going to be kind of like a nice thick girl, like she's got curves.
What is
shape?
And I also don't want to see baby bumps anymore. I want women to wear demure A-line dresses, where now everybody's got to have spandex over their baby bump because they're the only person that's ever been pregnant in the history of the world. That trend should go the way of the dodo bird. Like, thank God they're not doing gender reveal parties anymore. Thank God. Remember
is that gone now?
It has to be gone because you can't tell a baby what gender it is when it's.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Why are you assuming it's a boy? Because of his dick. Oh my God.
Because he has a penis.
Incredible.
Come on, Tobster. Come on in. The water's just fine right here.
Toaster's ears just perked up like a Doberman.
Come on. This is the bashers you love.
Oh, conservative anti-woke stuff. Hurrah.
I just it's like I told him a couple of weeks ago, I was in an office and it said gender assigned at birth ? I was like, assigned.
Assigned.
Anyway, so I digress. First of all, this woman is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, she is.
But everybody's better looking when they're thinner. Can we just admit that? Can we just, who's going to go on Ozempic, and whose next album she's going to be as thin as a rail or as thin as she could get? Lizzo.
Oh, and she's all about body positivity and overweight. And
she's so.
Can
overweight.
We talk about the science of Ozempic and all of the? There are spin-off drugs now because Ozempic, of course, just like Botox, was made, and Viagra were made for different things. Viagra was made for heart conditions, but they noticed the men were getting big hard-ons, and it turned into a several billion-dollar industry. Botox was made for people with migraines. But they noticed it was straightening up people's lines around their face. Billion-dollar industry. Happy accidents left, right, and center. So wasn't Ozempic also the same kind of thing?
Yeah, it was for A1C. It was for people with diabetes. It was a way to control your A1C levels, which is the biggest marker for people who have diabetes. And they're like, oh, and I remember the commercials may cause may cause unwanted weight loss or may cause surprising weight loss. And then they created 2 new drugs. One was called Wegovy, and the other one's called Monjuro. And basically what they did was they took the science of what it does is it's slow it copies the hormone that your brain releases, or your whatever gland releases it, to slow down the passage of food through your digestive system, and keeps you feeling satiated longer, so you are no longer hungry. So it actually physically slows it down, and it also makes you just feel like you're not hungry. So what they did was they amplified that hormone replication to make that more powerful, and took a little bit of the A1C out. So they kind of modified it to make it just for weight loss. So now Ozempic is technically just for weight loss, just for A1C, because it's got only minor weight loss properties, whereas Wegovy is all about the weight loss, and Monjuro is all about the weight loss. Everybody's going to be thin. There's going to be no more fat people in the world, except for the people.
So basically, it just makes you less hungry. So it's just portion control. Then it's forcing you into portion control.
Yeah, portion control.
Whereas before you'd eat the whole pizza, now you're only having 2 slices and you're feeling full, and you're sticking the rest in the fridge for the next day, and then you don't want to eat it because non-fresh pizza is disgusting anyway, right?
Pizza is disgusting. It's nasty. Who would eat that?
They stick it away, and then it's hard and stiff the next day, and you don't really
I would
want to
fucking slice somebody. I'd stab them in the heart for a great slice of pizza. I love pizza so much. That'll be my last meal, will be pizza. I love it.
He doesn't basically what you're doing is you're like any great diets, any diet that ever worked. It's not about the thing, it's about sticking to the thing. Consistency for a long time. Nearly every diet anyone ever came up with is a good diet, just as long as you stick to it for long enough. And that's the problem. Most people fall off the wagon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
So this shot of whatever it is, the spin-offs of Ozempic, it makes you stick to your portion control. It kind of forces you to, because when you feel full, you feel full. That's not discipline. That's just, a natural reaction, right?
I made the most, if I do say so myself, I made the most delicious sandwiches last night. They were sauteed broccoli rabe with, garlic and parmigiano reggiano with sauteed mushrooms in a white wine sauce. And then I drained them and put fresh mozzarella on a semolina roll. It was pornographically delicious. And after I ate half of the sandwich, I was so full, but it was so tasty, I ate the whole thing.
Sometimes when it's super tasty, that's why Indian meals are very dangerous. You go out for Indian, man, you have a baby in your stomach, because it's like you can't stop fucking eating, even when you've had enough nutrition. Okay, you're miles beyond that point, but you keep stuffing your face because it's just it's so good. Well, it'll be an interesting thing. Oh, Toaster is here. Jeez.
I love him. He just says the best shit. I know this is a typo from you, so I'm just gonna say it as you intended. I avoid being a fat cunt by lifting weights, running, and eating only healthy shit from farmers markets. No shortcuts.
No shortcuts. Well, this is an interesting thing. Is it a shortcut?
Yes, definitely. Bring it on, though. Come on. It's going to make...
Isn't every medicine a shortcut? Like a headache, you can get rid of a headache with massage and movement and a hot water bottle on your belly or whatever shit. There's all sorts of natural ways to get rid of a headache. However, a fucking decent ibuprofen will take care of that in a second. Is there any shame in, like, when you go into an operating theater and they put you under anesthetic, should you be ashamed that you didn't just fall asleep or live through the fucking pain and fucking walk it off later? Be a man. I mean, this is the argument about medicine. Just, they came up with this amazing stuff. It does incredible things. Use it. No?
I mean, that's an interesting argument. However, I mean, I've never had a baby, but I've seen people in labor, and I can't even imagine how anybody could go through that without the epidural, and many do.
And
And that is
many
why
do.
women are stronger. That's why
Yes.
women but they handle pain
Look,
better.
my ma suffered with her leg. She had a very sore knee. She still suffers with it, and it just was overbearing. And I believe it was last year or something. Her doctor just went, you know what? I'm going to put you on this. It's not a particularly strong drug or whatever, but he finally gave her a decent painkiller, and she could finally live again. And cook
Mhm.
dinners and go to the store and so on. And
Live.
I'm like, what are you? Why are you fighting through the misery? You've got to use modern medicine to help you get on with your life.
That's why we have it. That's why the whatever God you believe in, or whatever, supercomputer that controls us in this simulation, gave us the ability to create these things so people don't have to suffer. If you saw, I just read
No, before you go off on another hard left, you're
no, I
hard
was going to
left
go,
a lot.
no, I'm going straight there. I'm going
Oh,
straight
you're going
there.
straight there. Do it.
Yeah. It is imperative that we embrace these things. So if somebody is obese and they've tried every diet, sometimes folks, you're lucky to be naturally slender. Sometimes your genetics and your metabolism
I know
just
so
sees
many.
fit
Yeah.
that you are able to keep a lean body into your 40s, 50s, and 60s. But there are people whose hormones and their
They
thyroids
can't do it.
don't do the same
They
thing.
don't overeat, they don't overindulge,
No,
and they
they don't.
still can't handle it. Oh,
No.
yeah, these girls exist, by the way, these skinny. I mean, I've dated half of them in the world. It's terrible, and I've often said, do not ever let other girls see you eat a half an entire deli cake at 2 a.m. in bed, you skinny bitch. Like, the world is extremely unfair. These girls, they just walk around. They cook the calories faster. One of
Yeah.
these girls, she had an 8-pack. You know which one I'm talking about. And
Oh yeah.
like her stomach would burn. I'd be like, I could fry an egg on your stomach right now in the middle of the night. For some reason, she'd go to sleep, and while she was asleep, her body just went into crazy overdrive and started burning. No wonder she had this crazy 8-pack. She had like a body women kill for. And this woman lived on fucking anything. I've never seen the most disgusting. Like, we get a pastrami sandwich, she'd want extra mustard and extra cheese and extra sloppy. I'm like, this is such a sin that God has done this to us. It's so bad. But there's another thing that occurs to me. Like, this isn't necessarily only going to tackle the weight issue. This could help people with suicide and with depression.
Totally, because being overweight makes you depressed, and if you're not already depressed and on anti whatever, what is the general word for those drugs that make people not feel suicidal, antipsychotics, or what are they?
Yes. Well,
These also
antipsychotics are
they
one of
also
the
make
forms of
people gain a lot of
antidepressants.
weight.
Yeah.
People who are on antidepressants and antipsychotics, they often immediately become overweight. It
Yeah.
slows their metabolism down. It makes them listless. It does a lot of stuff. So, hey, it's very easy for people to preach and say, you need to hit the gym, you lazy bastard. You need to go and go hit the bricks and lift weights and eat right and start juicing and all that stuff. It does not work for everyone. We are an amazing species of cellular matter, and everybody's works differently. So, yeah, do I think I saw all the comments in the side? People are talking about fat injections. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a medication that was discovered that will make you actually look better, feel better, and be healthier for you. So I'm all
Okay,
for
now
that.
this is right on the topic, and this is why I'm bringing it up. Dana O'Malley's saying $10. Thank you, Dana. I just joined, so perhaps you covered it. But Oprah said Ozempic was the easy way out a couple of years ago. With one sentence, she created shame around the drug. Now, Dana's bringing up a very strong point. It's one of the reasons I'm talking about it, is because just last week, Oprah finally changed her tune on that. She's now come out as the new Oprah. She's slimmer, and she's now saying, I'm just glad that this has been discovered in my lifetime. This will change the attitude towards these drugs. Now, for millions of women, in particular, across the and men, of course, but I would put women before men in this case because women. I think women
It's harder for them.
I think they struggle with their weight more. First of all, they're childbearing, so there's that problem.
Society is crueler to them.
Crueler about weight.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking men can walk into the bar with a big
big belly,
beer belly.
He's a bit of a right.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's bullshit.
So sometimes you have to put certain sexes in front of other sexes, and I think it's tough for men as well. Men struggle with their weight, but for women, it's got to be tough. And Dana is right. That's exactly what Oprah did. She was like, I'd rather it be me. I'd rather do it myself on my own. And by just saying that, she added shame to getting a drug that can at least give people a leg up, give them somewhere to start, if nothing else.
She also, and this is another reason why I'm not the biggest fan of her, because, what Oprah says, everyone does. And while she doesn't have her show anymore, she's milked billions of dollars out of self-help people with her clubs and shit. And she shamed the crap out of everybody on Ozempic. And now she's thin. And now she's like, oh, no, it's good. You know what? Everybody seems to forget. She bought Weight Watchers. That's so right. Ozempic is immediately, this wonder drug is immediately going to kill her business. Why would you need to join Weight Watchers and have a steady diet and smart eating and trade points? And, I can't have that cupcake today because I spent my points yesterday. It's just, she is on Ozempic now because she wanted to get skinny finally, but she already shamed everybody. And that is not fair. And she does that a lot. I disagree with half the shit she does, with her little sit-down interviews. Look at her now.
Yeah, that's her now.
Yeah, she's lost a ton of weight, and she's on Ozempic because she's tried it every other which way, and she decides it's the easy way out. Well, shame on her for shaming everybody else who needed to get healthier. It's not the easy way out. Not
just physically. Like, how many women are out there who are putting on weight because they've got to deal with the kids, they got to fucking all of that, and their husband is looking at them less and less every day. Like, I don't hate to be dark about it, but think about the reality for a lot of women who were like the apple of their husband's eye, and now they've just entered into that kind of period in their life, and now they've got that extra thing. I have so many friends every time I check in on Facebook, which is very rare these days, but they're still out there, and I see, them struggle with their weight and so on. And above all, the depression. And it's a vicious circle then, because it's like when you get depressed, what's the best way of getting over a little bit of depression? Eat a slice of cake, have a glass of wine, and forget about it, which is only going to make you heavier. So it's like a vicious circle. And I'm sorry to be dark, guys, on a Wednesday evening, but this ends in suicide for a lot of people. So, I mean, the way I see it is modern medicine is a fucking miracle. The discovery of penicillin, which we spoke about last week, so many other things, painkillers, so we can cut a bullet out of your gut without you passing out or whatever, all of these things, even pulling a tooth out, for fucking like thousands of years, most men and women died before they were 30 because of a rotten tooth. Then we figured out that if you grab the thing and pull it out before it rots your entire skull, you can go on and have a happier, fruitful life. What's wrong with modern medicine? There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing. Can I say their tits look shit too?
Well, this is going to happen because your tits are going to deflate if you have big ones.
I'm just mad at her.
Yeah, you just hate her.
I'm so mad. I don't hate her. She has done a lot of things in the world that are good for people. And, she's doing a lot of work in Maui right now for, after the horrific fires that they had down there. She's got a lot of money. So therefore she has
people are going after her for that too. It's like, why don't you give your fucking billions instead of asking? I saw a lot of pushback from that as well.
Was she not using her billions for that?
I don't know. I don't really want to sideline.
Rich people always know how to use somebody else's money, don't they?
They do. Topster, he got his fix right there. He's like, yes.
Here's Topster says that Oprah here. This just goes to show you how crazy he can get, but I love it. Hey, buddy, Oprah's BFF with Harvey Weinstein. Of course she is.
Yes,
and her African
everyone
school
was.
is shut down for child trafficking. Oh boy!
Also,
and her
look up
hookup
her-
with John of God in South Africa. She's evil.
No,
as
not her
fuck.
hook. Also, look up, not her hookup. She didn't hook up.
No, not
Read
hookup,
that too fast.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
did you ever see that some comedians got it was Ricky Gervais. It was Ricky Gervais. He's got a clip of all the actors ever in the whole wide world, from Meryl Streep to Jennifer Lawrence to everybody going, Harvey, thank you, Harvey. Meryl Streep actually calls him God at an award speech.
Yeah. Well, because he was, to a certain
Sure
degree,
he
he
was.
was. Two
He
things
was
can be
the
true
puppet
at the same
master.
time. There are a lot of great movies in our culture that we love now that would have never happened if it wasn't for Harvey Weinstein.
Totally.
And he made big stars out of a lot of people. Was he also a fucking asshole who abused his power and raped women?
Sure.
Yes. Two things are true at the same time.
So is Louis B. Mayer and the Warners. We don't know.
It doesn't make it okay. It just
No, it
means you
doesn't
have
make
to
it okay,
sit
but-
in the middle and look at two things, one to your left and one to your right. And that's it.
Mhm.
That's life.
That's
it.
Oh, God.
But yeah, anyway, like
Think about how many guys can actually fuck now because of Viagra.
of Viagra, yeah.
Think about it.
Think about
all
that,
these
yeah.
guys that their marriages were dead, and now their marriages are over because they were fucking people on the side because they could. But it's like that because, like, like
Did you ever pop a Viagra?
No,
for
but I
this?
heard it's like banging with somebody else's dick.
So I'll tell you a story, right? It kind of is.
Here's a
It kind
scoop,
of is.
kids.
Here's the scoop. So I was dating. Remember that pencil skirt girl I was dating? I don't know if you ever met her.
I heard
Liz.
about her.
Liz.
I never met
She
her.
was cute as hell, but they always are, because that's how they sell the drugs. So she would go to all the little clinics around Brooklyn and Queens and so on and sell the new drug, right? So she'd go in with her laptop or her iPad or whatever it was at the time, and she would sell the drug. She would come over to me for dinner and like she'd come in with like a ton of different like insulin pens and things, going, can I put these in your fridge because they have to be refrigerated? I'm like, okay. So my fridge was like booze and insulin pens and all sorts of shit, right? So it was fun dating that girl. But she started selling, it wasn't Viagra, it was the other one, Cialis.
Yeah.
So she has to do the whole course, so she knows what she's talking about and she knows the science of it. So then she's going around all the different clinics, all the little doctors around, all the various guys around Brooklyn and Queens, and she's selling it. So she had all of this stuff in her car, and she brings it up and she's talking about it. And I said, I want to take one of these to see what happens, So she gave me some mad strong one. And like, I mean, she was there. It was a Friday night she was with me. I had a boner for the whole weekend. I had a boner all the way through to the Sunday. And in the stupidest moments, like for no reason. It was terrible. I was calling her going, does this ever stop? Should I get worried? Will I get gangrene? Like, what's
It's called
going on?
priapism. I'm dying because Dana wrote, Star walks into a different room while brother-in-law talks about using Viagra. It's called priapism. And it's like, the warning is like, if your erection lasts more than 4 hours, please consult a doctor or emergency room. Yeah, so it can be dangerous. It's called.
I mean, it
priapism.
wasn't that bad. I just, you're right. You don't really have to be aroused, which is kind of weird.
And that was all because they were trying to figure out, it was a heart medication. And
Right.
then it's like, doctor, I just came from the lab and all of the subjects, they'll have these big erections. What's going on?
What accent are you doing?
Doing like the Swiss laboratory, the Swiss German.
It's true though. Like a lot of men who couldn't do it anymore now could do
but
it, and it's
there are
probably
a lot
made
of
a
dead
lot of
dicks.
men and women happier around the world. So I don't see. Yeah, I agree with you about Oprah. That was remiss because she,
Terrible.
she has to be more careful about her shit that she's saying, because
You'd think
it
she
isn't-
would be.
And also, now that I know how it works, basically, it's not a quick and easy. It's just giving you help with portion control. It seems to be somewhat of a natural process. Time will tell if there are side effects, right? Time will tell.
Well, I mean, now they're talking about Ozempic face and everybody's big on face,
What's
Bradley
Ozempic face?
Cooper, Jew face, Bradley Cooper, black face. What is Irish face? Do they have like drunk face? They're saying
Irish face.
Ozempic face has a look to it, whereas you could tell when people are like here's the thing, right?
Okay.
Back in the day when all those protease inhibitors came out for people with HIV, you could tell who was on it. You could tell like who is HIV positive because it's called the protease punch. Those things are called protease inhibitors. So all the guys who obviously were on it, obviously were HIV positive, you could tell, you could pick them out of a crowd because they'd have this kind of wasting face here, but they'd have they'd be muscly, like really muscly bodies, but extended belly. You could have a six pack, but it would protrude from your body. And that's called the protease punch. And it's a telltale sign that somebody was on this medication because I don't think it exists anymore. I think it was the earlier iterations of those drugs. But, you'd be caddying and walking down the street and be like, stay away from her, which is
Chris
terrible.
McGurney makes a great point. I'm sure Big Pharma will be real honest about real honest about the devastating diode effects before they make a few billion. You're so right. Those fuckers are the devil. Dana O'Malley. Ozempic also shuts off compulsions around food for people with disordered eating.
Sure.
No, it's true. I mean, if they've discovered any side effects, potentially hazardous side effects, they're gonna keep them under wraps, until they
as they do for all of them, and then they settled the lawsuits later on. I mean, how many big drugs?
Side effects. I was wondering what you were saying. Diode effects. I was like, shit. Chris is some sort of physician. What's a diode effect? Okay, side effects.
I felt really stupid when I read that. I was like, shit, I don't know what that means.
I was like, yeah, what is a diode effect? Is that the technical term for a side effect? No, it's just Chris has had a Negroni and he's flopping over his keyboard a little bit clumsily. That's fine. Happens to the best of us, mate.
Sure.
Anyway. Interesting shit. They say right now there's a huge shortage of these drugs, of course, because now everyone's racing to get them. Everyone was going mad about fucking Rolex Daytonas 2 years ago. Now they're going mad for the Ozempic. They're racing to grab that shit off the shelf. But they say that 2024 is going to be the explosion of it because they're ramping up production now in a major way.
Really?
Yeah, that's the word on the street.
Wrapping up production and
ramping
yeah. Up. Oh, okay. Well, like I always said, I mean, you build it, they will come, right?
Hey, we build what? Obesity and problems with weight issues.
Well, no, that's the old adage: you build it and they will come.
I understand. So, yeah, I know. I understand. I'm adding to what you're saying.
Yeah, I think everybody's gonna eventually kind of just say fuck it and be tired of being on diets, and Weight Watchers will go out of business now that Oprah owns it and she has officially endorsed a drug that will help you not subscribe to Weight Watchers. Like my older sister Pat was on Weight Watchers and she did very well. She'd do her points and stuff and she liked it. It was like going to she would go to groups and they talk about whatever snacking or whatever that they do. And she really liked it. Some people like that. It's like going to therapy. They enjoyed it. I guess it's like AA, going to AA and sitting around and talking about or NA or SA or any of those places. I snorted fucking 8 grams of Coke last night, or I went out and banged 100 hookers last night. I mean, sometimes you need to admit what you did. It makes you feel better to admit. The truth does feel good when people do admit stuff. Honey, she was only 16.
She was only 16 years old.
She's beautiful and she's mine. Are those songs banned now?
I'm going to take the opportunity to just promote another little thing that I was going to do for my Christmas show. This is a little thing from Eli Adams, who is, I believe, based in California. I'm not sure. Eli Adams, go onto his website. He actually does sell watches as well, but he has a lot of cool accessories. And I got this as a gift from Carolyn Martin. from Eli Adams. This is a little
Ooh.
cigar tray. So you got your little cigar holder. Whoops, sorry. Cigar stand there. You've got your cutter. You've got your puncher, wherever it is over there. And you got a little tray, and it's some beautiful heavy wood. It's beautiful. And I believe this is about $100 for this. So a great little gift for the cigar smoker in your life. And you can get your name put in it. As you can see, my name is in the tray and in the holder, and even an O in the cutter. So it's a really nice gift and not as expensive as you may think.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love that Macassar
I've been using
wood.
it, right? Yeah, it's beautiful. Eli Adams, guys, goes check it out. Really, really good stuff for a last minute Christmas gift. Yes.
Very beautiful. Dana said, let me get back to this. It was in the, here it is. Ready for this? Dana says, no, Weight Watchers now prescribes Ozempic.
Oh, look at that.
Isn't that just defeat their whole thing? Or do you get to sit around and talk about your journey in the circle? Fuck that. I want to take the Ozempic and not have to go Tuesday nights in the church basement. I don't want to do that anymore. If I have the shot, fuck that.
If you have the shot, you can get on with your life.
Correct.
And when food comes to the table, you eat a regular amount. You don't overdo it like most people. It's portion control.
Portion control.
And that's it. And there's nothing better than portion control. I mean, look, you were talking the other night to me about this, and you're like, we'll finally be living in a place where there are no fat people. And I was like, I already live in that place. Yeah. Look for a fat person in Italy. They're very rare.
And they're elderly usually.
Yeah, or they're like the crazy dude who really he's the kind of funny, jolly guy in the town, and he really overdoes it with the beer sometimes or whatever. Now, mind you, the Italians will probably want to use it anyway because they're so fucking vain. They'll even see the slightest thing and go, oh, I'm overweight, you know. Sure. Going back to the X's again, I'm like, you are so not, you are like that. If you please don't repeat that to anybody I know. Like, you're a fucking rake and you're just staring at every little detail in the mirror. It's a fucking sickness a lot of people get in their head. So they'll probably be after it anyway. But when you have decent portion control just as part of your culture, and you have healthy food part of your culture, you don't need to be on a diet. It's just a regular thing. That tends to help the population in general stay a little trim and stay healthy. You know, we were talking about the banning of the huge, enormous sodas last week.
Yeah.
It's part of that. Like, when you normalize a soda that's like as tall as a small child, like when that's normal for someone to get, and it's only 10 cents extra to get the 3-gallon fucking soda.
You want to supersize it for $1.99 more?
You're poisoning the people with sugar, and you're going to create an obese nation, right?
Give me. I mean, I don't eat fast food as a rule. It's just not in my, there's nothing there I really want. The only thing I ever do is get mozzarella sticks at White Castle once a year, maybe. But the drive-thrus, when you pass them, because that's not something that happens in Italy. That does not exist there. They have autogrill, but you have to go in there and have an Ely, and then, we're sitting in our cars, driving up, ordering burritos and French fries and onion rings and frings and all the shakes and all the stuff. I mean, who drinks a shake with a hamburger? You have a hamburger and then you have like a thick milky drink to go with it. What is?
Yeah. You know what? If you're a basketball player, you're 18 years old. Yeah, fucking do it. You're burning through calories like a crazy person.
That's such a weird combo, isn't it? Like a burger with a milky sweet drink, like a blueberry shake or a strawberry shake.
Yeah, it's true.
And you know what Americans are really into now? And this is creepy. The most disgusting substance I've ever tasted in my life, and that is ranch dressing.
Oh my God. So I met this girl in Nashville. It was a billion years ago. We were on tour, and she really put her laser beams on me. and we were on tour, and the lads dropped me off in Nashville. I was like, I'm gonna see what this chick is about. So I stayed a few days in Nashville, which was really cute. But man, we went for a few meals, and when the salad came out, the amount of ranch dressing she put on the shit, I was like, okay, this girl is whatever she was, 21 at the time or whatever she was. I was like, by the time she's 30, it's over. With the amount of ranch she was going through, ranch, like
you have to put a bell around her neck.
Fucker. I mean, who knows where she is now, but like, I was looking at that going, you know what, that's youth on your side, darling, because that's you've just swallowed 3 million calories in that ranch.
Have you ever tasted
she just
ranch?
Couldn't stop with the ranch. Ranch is fine when there's a little bit.
Do you think so? Salad. Oh, God. Everybody in America is dipping now. They're dipping pizza. They're taking slices of pizza and putting it into like ranch. They're like, now at Papa John's, you get your choice of pepperoni, meat lovers, vegetable lovers, and 16 different types of dipping sauce. We've got Cool Ranch. We've got barbecue honey, bee pollen mayonnaise. It's like garlic aioli with side mustard and Crisco. It's insane. There's a million different kinds of things to dip whatever you bought in, because that's not good enough. Who the fuck takes pizza and dips it in? Like, I love mayonnaise. It's my favorite food, but I don't dip pizza in it. I love mayonnaise. It's my weakest link in my life is mayonnaise. Really? It's my weakest link is Hellman's mayonnaise. I love it. I abuse it. It's my kryptonite. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That I love mayonnaise.
Okay, I'll give you one. I just popped to memory now. Years ago, in Lydia's grandmother's house, she prepared a wonderful meal for everyone. We all sat at the dinner table, and she sat away from the table in the corner, and she opened a jar of Hellman's and put a spoon in it and started eating the Hellman's mayonnaise.
I wouldn't do that, but that's, it is so tasty.
Because it's a condiment for me and you, right? But imagine sucking ketchup from the fucking...
No, it is I do love condiments. I love mustards. I mean, ketchup I couldn't care less about, but I do love all kinds of mustards. But mayonnaise does a lot of things. It makes a perfect sandwich. It makes things creamier. And somebody just said in the chat, let me go find out where it is. And they said ranch is mayo. No, it isn't. Ranch is mayonnaise with sour cream and lots of different spices. So it's, no.
Joey says extra virgin olive oil is mine. Dude, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's not the same. I mean, they live on that shit in this country.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a vice. I don't think olive oil is a vice.
No, olive oil is the greatest thing you can do for yourself. Hit the Apex says Hellman's and mayo are different. Is different. I corrected you. Are different. They aren't. Hellman's mayonnaise is real mayonnaise. That's what mayonnaise is. You're thinking about Miracle Whip or things that have other ingredients in them. But the basic recipe for mayonnaise is egg yolks, oil, salt, vinegar, and lemon juice. That is what the French like. If you ever go to a bistro in France, they all make their own mayonnaise, and it comes out as really yellow and creamy, and you dip your French fries in it. Yeah, that's mayonnaise. You're thinking of Miracle
Whip, which is fries with mayo.
Mayonnaise.
Fries belong in mayo. That's big here. You get fries in Italy, they give you mayo. I'm always asking for ketchup. I'm always like, do you have ketchup? And they're like, oh, let me see if we have any. And I'm like, oh God, where am I? That they don't have fucking ketchup next to fries. To me, they go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I've sent I think I sent Dana a case of Hellman's mayonnaise because on the West Coast, it's the same company, but it's called Best Foods West of the Rockies. But it does not taste and it does not look like Hellman's mayonnaise. It's got a different consistency. And I said to her, oh, isn't it good? She goes, it's really bad. Blah. So I went on Amazon and sent her like a case of it like a couple of years ago. Miracle Whip is the devil's condiment. Now, here's Dana. For a girl that's originally from the Midwest, as is my mother-in-law, she makes a lot of things with Miracle Whip because you can't substitute mayonnaise for Miracle Whip because it's so sugary and whatever. Like I think she makes her deviled eggs with Miracle Whip. And I have to admit they're not terrible, but Miracle Whip, if you just taste it on its own, it is so vile. It's almost as vile as ranch, which I think is the grossest thing I've ever tasted. But that's what makes the world go around. People love ketchup, and I think ketchup is I don't even think about ketchup until I need it for something.
Like what,
but I
fries?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
ketchup
I don't really
on a burger. Ketchup on a burger.
Yeah, I don't like French fries. I don't really care for French fries. It's not my thing.
Well,
I'd rather have an onion ring.
So you don't think
I don't eat burgers. I have veggie burgers. I make veggie burgers at home. But I'll usually, you know what I love? I love tater tots. Have you ever had tater tots?
No, it's delicious. A very American thing. Nathaniel Hannon, 199. Thanks so much. Duke's mayo or nothing.
So being the Hellman's junkie that I am, I have gone out of my way to get Duke's mayonnaise, and I have A-B'd them, and I've watched all the videos. Listen, it's all about what you grew up with because I didn't like it. It's very paprika-y. Actually, if you look at the ingredients, it says paprika on it. So it's okay. I would eat it, but it tastes. By the way, Duke's is the mayonnaise that's south of the Mason-Dixon line. So Southern people eat Duke's mayonnaise, period. That's just what they grew up with.
Is that a thing? Okay.
It is. It's like
does it have a sugar? Does it have a sugar element? I find that the South in America is like you add sugar to anything and they like it. Even when they make brisket and they make barbecue stuff, it's a sweet. It tastes like a fucking dessert to me. It's just full of sugar.
All the barbecue sauces from the South are very sweet. They have honey barbecue and all that kind of stuff that they put in there. That foghorn leghorn, it's sugar. They call people sugar. I used to know this guy.
They call people sugar.
Hello, sugar. I used to meet this guy, and first of all, this guy was really, really handsome, and he had the best game ever. He was tall, he was good looking, but he came from Savannah, Georgia, and he just had the deepest, most southern accent. He was just such a gentleman. He called everybody sweet baby darling. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweet baby darling. Excuse me, sweet baby darling.
I like that.
And everybody's panties dropped instantly for this guy because he was so good looking and he was just so incredibly charming. And I said, do you really speak like that? He goes, everyone from Savannah, it's just about having gentlemanly manners and watching lots of Foghorn Leghorn, which is the big rooster cartoon from Warner Brothers. And he's like, I say. It's very charming. And they do call everyone, I'm so sorry, sugar. Hello, sugar.
Look at that. My Lord.
It's such a great thing. It's amazing how in this one country, people can sound a different way. And people in the South, it sounds like a totally different language.
It's a big country, man.
It's a big country. Dreams stay with you like a lover's voice across the mountainside. In a big country. Funny shit. Yeah. We talked about mayonnaise.
This is the iBashers.
Mayonnaise. But yeah, I mean, and we're talking about Ozempic. Listen, if I cut Hellman's mayonnaise completely out of my diet, I probably wouldn't be talking about because I go up and down all the time. We know each other a long time. 10, 20 pounds, it goes up and down. Some days you're skinny, some days you're not. Some days you're on a weight loss thing. If I cut out Hellman's mayonnaise, I'd probably be consistently 150 pounds, probably, because I love it.
So you eat that stuff regularly? I haven't touched mayonnaise in ages. Last time I had mayonnaise was in Ireland with the coleslaw. Why can't people make coleslaw like the Irish make coleslaw? It's the best coleslaw on earth.
It is.
What is it about Irish coleslaw? Oh my God, that's heroin, that stuff. Stick it on anything, it's like it makes it better.
I mean, you put coleslaw on a burger, veggie burger, but you put all that stuff. It's just, first of all,
I've had the coleslaw in the diners in New York.
Oh, it's the worst.
Watery and drippy and horrible. This shit is creamy and thick, and it's like, oh my God.
Well, you have to make a roux first. You know, you have to make some kind of a roux, and usually roux is with flour. But for like me and my brother had a deli, and we had great salads, and we had very Irishy coleslaw. You take the mayonnaise and the sugar and the salt and the pepper, and you whip it for quite a
Right.
long time until it gets really, really thick. And then you put it in the refrigerator for 2 hours. And then you take the cabbage and you slice it on the deli slicer. So it gets really, really thin and shreddy. And then you put it all, you combine all the stuff, then you add your vinegar, then you refrigerate it for 2 hours, and then it comes out exactly the way you like it. I also don't mind it with raisins in it too. And that's
Oh, that's sexy too. I like
yeah,
it too.
I like it with the raisins as well, which is very Irishy thing to do. Because I know if you go to the west of Ireland and you get a coleslaw on a burger or a side plate, it always has currants in it, which are delicious. I think I like.
So Megyn Kelly has gone up against Taylor Swift in the past week.
Brother.
Megyn Kelly's not happy. She still has her own thing. It's pretty big, like her podcast thing, and she's throwing out some shade.
I think she's got mental problems, Megyn Kelly. I think there's something seriously wrong with her.
Yeah, I don't want to play this. I don't know if you can hear.
Highly political, presenting a highly biased view of the Israel-Palestine war, ignoring any Palestinian responsibility for hardship, and contributing to the demonization of Israel. That is the group Taylor Swift thought it might be fun to help raise money for, attend the fundraiser for, and she owes Israelis and Jewish Americans an apology. And I hope they boycott her events until she issues it, because attending this thing was wrong. It was wrong.
Okay, so
They won't. They won't. She won't. And fuck off.
first of all, I mean, didn't Taylor Swift just get Woman of the Year or Person of the Year in Time Magazine or something like that?
She did, and no one cares what this has been thinks. No one cares. She got fired from every big the conservative news thing, and you know she's mentally unstable, this broad. She really is. And she's looking for attention. And where else to get bigger attention than Taylor Swift?
Yeah, like latch yourself onto that soundbite because people are Googling Taylor Swift every day a gazillion times.
Yeah.
It's such a shame.
Megyn Kelly. She's beautiful, though. She really is.
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. Yeah.
She's gorgeous, but she's
not that
she's perfect for you. Oh my God, I just thought of it. She's perfect for you. She's gorgeous.
I mean,
crazy,
gorgeous and crazy. That's I like them that way.
It's all your girls. Crazy. I'm like, I meet her. I'm like, oh no.
There's a perfect one for Oisin.
The only one I really liked, the one that I thought, well, I mean, I liked a lot of your girlfriends, but the model, I thought she was cooler than shit. We're out on the street having a fag.
Famous model thing. Yeah. Her?
We're out on the street having a fag at your brother's. Dana threw a birthday party for your brother at a mezcal bar downtown. Remember that night? Just years ago.
Oh, yes. That was my brother's 40th.
Yeah. So we're down there, and I met her for the first time. And I was like, oh, man, I like her for him. Wow, she's cool. She's just cool. Her whole aura was great, and she was ridiculously good looking.
Well, yeah, she got paid for it for so long. You know, sometimes she'd show up like so frazzled looking because you know she doesn't. You know, sometimes I would look at her and go, "Can you put on some makeup?" She's like, "I've been putting on my makeup for my career for 20 years. I don't need to." You know, she got angry at that. You know, but yeah, beautiful woman. But yes, what was I saying? Now you knocked me off my train of thought.
You knocked me off of my feet now, baby. Woo!
So this is what happened. Taylor Swift and what's her name? Massive person on the other actress, the fucking we were talking about her the other day. She was in the Woody Allen film, and she was in that Martin Short thing you were talking about with Steve Martin.
She's the biggest Instagram person in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
And it's not Demi Lovato. It is.
Oh God, the names are gone. Why do the names disappear when we're live?
The name. No, the names disappear for me. That's it. It's the aging process. The names. I'm like, Sheen. That's who.
Her name is Selena Gomez. And so the two of them attended an event. Now, listen, this, first of all, everybody needs to scale it back a little. I mean, people who are pro-Palestine like myself would have loved this to be true, but unfortunately, it ain't true. Okay, we're men enough on our side of the fence to admit when shit is fucking not true. And the thing is, there was an event, yes, to help. It was aid in Gaza, right?
Yes.
And afterwards, there was a soiree. There was a show and drinks and food and celebs and all of that. And it had this guy, what's his name? He's a popular comedian now. He's Bassem Youssef, this guy who appeared on Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah. I watched him.
Right, this guy, is pretty popular. He's the flavor of the day now. He's really funny. He's interesting. He's like a Robin Williams kind of character, but a Middle Eastern version. And he's funny. There's a lot of levity to his stuff, but he's also political, so on. So he was appearing. So now that he's the flavor of the day, of course, their agent is telling them where to be seen and what to do. And Selena Gomez, who has like 300 fucking million followers or whatever she's got,
425 million.
There you go.
It was enormous.
Yeah, and Taylor, who is the most famous woman on earth right now, showed up at that, not at the fundraiser, but at that, which was after the fundraiser. Now, the fundraiser, turns out that all the money raised for aid in Gaza was going to an Israeli foundation that's trying to help Gaza, not one of the many others, but to that one. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, but it's like, slow down kind of thing. Megyn Kelly is now going up against her. I just feel like it's such a waste of her time trying to go up against what? You want to cancel Taylor Swift?
That's not going to happen, darling.
That's not going to happen.
Listen, sugar. Forget about it, darling. Sweet baby.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. Forget about it, darling. You come up to my hotel room at the... you got to do that at the Peachtree Plaza.
The Peachtree.
And I'll have some delicious elixirs ready for you, sweet baby darling. And we'll talk about this Taylor Swift thing that you're trying to attach your caboose to, which is a useless project for you. Just forget about it. She's nuts, and she's got bad hair extensions now. That's not her hair. I just saw her on TV. She's crazy.
Who?
Megyn Kelly.
Kelly.
Man, she's just she's a flip-flopper too, and that makes me crazy. And she was part of the whole what was the name of that movie? Bombshell, with all the girls that they had to deal with Fox News, Roger Ailes.
Right.
And that came to my brain. I don't know how. Roger Ailes, and we actually know, I'm not going to get into it right now. We know one of the girls that was in the movie, was portrayed in the movie, one of the actual people who worked with him. And that guy was a pig. And of course, men in power, especially when they're fat, ugly, and they have small penis syndrome, SPD or SPS, they will do that. They will use their money for leverage to try to get into somebody's knickers. I think she was crazy before that. She blames her erratic behavior on PTSD and all this stuff, but I think she's full of shit. Anyway, hitching a wagon to Taylor Swift is, that's like, the most absurd thing, because no one's watching your bad internet show, and yet the entire world is watching Taylor Swift. So good luck to you.
These women have a lot of power. Like, people have been, Selena Gomez has voiced her opinions politically before. And clearly, just like Oprah about the Ozempic thing, Gomez can say, she can just write one tweet or one Instagram post and it will affect millions. A lot of people might reject it, but there'll be so many more millions who accept it and are influenced by her. And it's just a thing in society. A lot of people complain when a celebrity or musician or songwriter or whatever they may be have political ideas. But this goes back for centuries, guys. You know, when I was a kid and I was listening to Rush records, I was interested in Ayn Rand, you know, because of Anthem and The Fountainhead and all of that, because Neil Peart was interested in Ayn Rand. So I was interested in Ayn Rand because Neil Peart, you know, he played amazing drums and one of the most amazing bands I ever heard.
And he's a deep thinker. I mean, really, it's a manifesto on how to be a selfish asshole.
Yes,
really, it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah. I read all of
Hitchens is very famously saying, you know, about Ayn Rand. It's like, what, you need to convince people to be more selfish? Haven't you been paying attention? People do it pretty well without your help. Ayn, thanks so much.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie The Fountainhead? It's Hollywood's kind of liquefaction of it, but
the
it's
black and white one. The old,
yeah,
it's
beautiful.
I saw it years ago. But you get influenced by, you know, these leaders, these people. They assume that, you know, you've got your head screwed on the right way because you've already inspired them with your lyrics or your art. So therefore, your ideas must bleed into other great things, which is why celebrities are quite often the face of a movement in some way or some charity or whatever, because it helps give people direction and ideas and so on. A lot of people push it back against that. Someone like Topster, for example, would probably be at the front of that line, saying, no, fuck that. These guys don't know anything. They're already millionaires and they're just abusing their power. But Selena Gomez, like, people have been like waiting for her to make a comment on what's going on in the Middle East for a while now, because they know that what she says, even though she's just Selena Gomez, she's not exactly an expert, it's still going to influence millions of teenagers around the world.
A big bullhorn. She's got a very big bullhorn. I try to convince my friend John of that. He's like, the Hollywood elites. They just have a bigger microphone than you do. That's it. More people listen to them. The reason why they influence people is because more people listen. No one's listening to what you're saying on the street corner in, you know, Long Island. They're just not doing it. Not that you don't have anything lesser to say than they do, but people, celebrities, if they dare to say something political or whatever, or subscribe to Ayn Rand or any of these motherfuckers, you know, that, you know, like Neil Peart was a super intellect. He's looking for all kinds of things out of the world, all kinds of stimuli. He's comparing that lyrically. Yeah. It's not he's subscribing to this woman's, you know, ethos or any of this shit. If you ever see her on an interview, you're just like, oh fuck.
I think, yeah, she's clearly a bitter soul,
mean and ugly.
Yeah, you mean and ugly, yeah.
Mean and ugly.
You know, I think Peart was more about the, you know, the individual
Absolutely.
freedom, yeah. But
hold the red banner.
So anyway, so they showed the two of them, the two most famous women in the world, pretty much showed up at this thing, and now the, you know, they're everyone's freaking out about it because it's considered a statement, and it probably is a statement. You know, it's like people are watching what we're doing so closely that we don't even have to say anything or take any particular side or position. All we have to do is show up at an event, and that's considered a statement. Yeah. Imagine being that powerful. That's amazing.
I would never want to be that. You know, I used to want to be, when I was a kid, rich and famous. Now I just want to be rich. I don't want to be famous at all. Because then you have everybody judging everything that comes out of your mouth, everything that you wear. You have this washed up has-been like Megyn Kelly. Listen, I'm not the biggest Taylor fan in the world, but I get it. You know, I get why, I get who, I get how, I get it. She is currently, you know, the Madonna of her era, you know, the whomever was the trendsetter. She happens to be the person that the kids are really gravitating towards. And you know what? You can't deny, whether you like her music or you don't like her music, she's more than that. I love all this great stuff. Yeah, she's rich and she can afford to tip people a lot of money. But I just saw something really quick. Somebody on one of these channels said, oh man, she just showed up at our restaurant to get to go. She came in herself, and there was a picture of her handing the guy $100 bill, and she was just getting takeout. And she's like, here, that's for you. I fucking love that. Because when you love, if you're rich like that, to just start throwing money at people in a nice
Sure.
way, you would. What could be better than helping other people? And so far, I know she grew up with a silver spoon, and her father was rich, and all this stuff. But she doesn't seem like she forgot who she is. She seems like a really down to earth person, and she cares about people, and she cares about people being obliterated, regardless of who started this particular round. And that's the problem.
Regardless of who started season 7.
Yeah, season 7. Right. Yeah. The Palestinians didn't start this fucking pot boiler, Kitty. They didn't start it. They started this season.
You're picking up the show at season 7.
Yeah, season 7. The Palestinians started out with, and it wasn't even them. It was Hamas started out with a bang. Oh, the season starts with a bang, kids. So, Megyn Kelly, go get your facts straight. Go look up the history of the world.
No,
and then just,
this is the problem. Megyn Kelly is just playing into her audience. She knows that that's what her audience wants to hear.
God, well,
she's
that's
going to
what
get
they
the
all
applause from her own folk, which is, that tends to be a thing that people do in general. That's why I appreciate people like, I don't know, Philip DeFranco, even Joe Rogan. Like he's out there to hear more information. He hasn't just gone, okay, it's all conspiracy theory or whatever. Like Alex Jones went, okay, I've got an audience in these, these tinfoil hat guys. Let me play into that and sell them products and make as much money out of it.
Yeah.
That's that's different.
Sure,
it's nice when people keep their eyes and ears open. I'm going to show another little gift.
Let me get a quick clip. Right, Fox Tobster says Fox News girls are so much hotter than CNN. That's because they were all recruited by Roger Ailes. And who's got CNN?
I would beg to differ. I'll agree to a certain degree, but then there was Pamela Brown. She was on CNN. Oh, God damn it. Pamela Brown was like, whoa.
And CNN would hire transgender journalists and stuff.
Well, now maybe, but like for years there were certain. What's the one with the super high cheekbones? Oh, she was super fucking cute.
On CNN?
On CNN, yeah. She was cute as hell. I don't think she's on there anymore.
Anchors.
Yeah. You'll find her immediately.
I don't know.
Come on. Somebody's got to know.
I'll share the screen so you guys can tell me because I don't know. I know that you love what's her face from CBS. She's beautiful.
Well, McDonald.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's nice. No,
Nora
you want
O'Donnell.
blonde. Yeah, Nora O'Donnell. You want blonde. Where's blonde there? No, not her.
She looks like
she's one of the biggest, one of the most famous, one of the most prolific. Is Pamela Brown? Let me get a better list. I don't know what you
Brianna Kelly. These girls are not good looking.
Hot CNN anchors.
They're good looking to somebody. Isn't that the beauty of the world, though? Good looking to somebody.
Well, what's her name? Wasn't bad. Brooke Baldwin.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Brooke Baldwin's a brunette.
This one here. What's her fucking name?
What's your name, little girl? Mr. Badgas, $2. Thank you so much. Upvote. Yeah, do that. Because next Wednesday, somebody's getting to watch. And you got to be a member. Don't forget.
Famous actors. There's, of course, Erin Burnett. She was pretty cute.
Was she?
That's her, Brooke Baldwin. She's not a brunette. She's a blonde. You telling me that's a brunette?
Oh,
you looking at a brunette right now?
No.
That's Brooke Baldwin with the big, yeah.
You think she just looks like Miss Tennessee? And she's like, I like
super
skydiving.
cute.
I like making peach cobbler and making sure my husband.
Well, dude, you're gay. You kind of ask me who's.
Dude,
I'll tell you.
Gay men show you who all the beautiful women are.
You're right.
Without
right.
gay men, you would see ugly.
I retract
girls.
what I just said. I retract what I just said.
Every beautiful woman's been hired by a fag.
For sure. I retract what I realized what I was getting into just there as I said it. I realized I was putting my foot in my
no horse in the race
mouth. There's Pamela Brown. You see her?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, I
she's
think she
behind the
looks like a
play
Joker.
sign.
She's got a
Sorry.
Joker mouth.
She doesn't have a Joker mouth. She has a
She does.
stunning mouth. That's a stunning
And I don't
woman.
like brown-eyed blondes. Something about brown-eyed blondes kind of there's a disconnect there. I don't know what it is. It looks weird to me.
Fine.
Just doesn't look natural to me.
I'd
But that's
forgive
okay.
her. So I've mentioned this before for a dessert, a lighter dessert. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Mr. Badgas. Upvote. Thank you for the lighter dessert. I've
Mhm.
actually featured this, not this exact product on. I'm not spruiking. I don't know even who this is, but I want to make you guys aware. If you don't want the big pie or the big cake or whatever, there's a nice, boozy. It's turned around actually in the thing. Whenever it's reversed, there's a
That's beautiful.
nice boozy thing. Vin Santo. This is a dessert wine like Sauterne from France. Vin Santo, or you can get a Moscato or whatever dessert wine, and you get the little cantucci, which are like mini biscotti, and you dip them in you just pour a little bit of this stuff, and then you dip in the cantucci and you suck the Vin Santo out of the cantucci, and it's like having milk and cookies, but it's a boozy version for after dinner, and it's not going to fill you up anymore than you already are after Christmas dinner. This was one I just grabbed the other day or yesterday in Fondaco, the Tedeschi. I don't think it's worldwide available, but look out for both.
Outrageous.
Yeah, just look for both.
Look at the pistacchio biscotto.
Yeah.
Oh, famaro la via. That's
so the
right on my
biscotti are larger, they're longer. These are cantucci.
Oh,
Cantucci, they're shorter versions, and you just dip them in, you suck the booze out of them, and they're fucking delicious. And then, of course, as you do it, the glass with the Vin Santo in there gets all full of the crumbs and stuff in there. So then when you finally drink the Vin Santo, it's full of the crumbs of the Cantucci in there. It's a beautiful thing.
I have to retract something quick. Carolyn Martin says, Dirk, I'm a natural blonde with brown eyes. I'm crushed now. No, when they're blonde bimbos, when somebody's naturally like the girl from The Great Gatsby, she's gorgeous. Talking about these bleached blonde bimbos with the big bleachy pageant hair. No, there are natural blondes with natural, beautiful brown eyes. And I prefer dark eyes over blue eyes because they're a dime a dozen because I'm Irish and everyone in my family fucking has them. Sick of looking at them. We like the opposite. No, you know what I mean. The bimbos. Definitely not talking about you, darling.
Well, what happens is they dye their hair blonde.
It's bleached.
Yeah,
it's all it's so white, and it almost like washes their whole face out. It's crazy. Not a natural blonde. Natural blonde.
But I think Tozer is right about, in general, and that was the thing about Fox. They would always make sure to hire the sexiest, most beautiful girls as talking head for a reason. Yeah. And CNN probably did it too. They're just as fucking guilty.
They did. I mean, most newscasters are attractive people usually, except for New York One, where everybody's not attractive.
New York One doesn't.
So they just hire like people with warts and cleft palates and all kinds of cuckoo things.
There was never anyone attractive on New York One. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
It's just local news. Terrible. But what are you gonna do? Anybody watch the morning show? Did you watch the morning show, Bush?
No.
It was it's so good. Oh no, it's great. No, I'm talking about the show with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, the show about
it's an Apple TV series. I'll really
check it
good.
out.
Oh, it's great. You love it. Maestro tonight, kids. Anybody seen it yet? I'm so excited. I'm gonna go get a bottle of wine for that.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch it now after this. I'll cook some dinner and sit and watch Maestro. That's going to be great.
We should have a watch party. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we do that on Netflix? Does Netflix have a way to set up a watch party?
No, you can press play and I can press play and we can be on FaceTime at the same time or something like that. Mind you, I don't know, like if I get emotional, because apparently there's a scene where Bradley Cooper, he conducts the LSO.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the real LSO, right? And he conducts them. He does the Mahler second, or at least one movement of it. He fucking conducted it, and he does a good job, and they follow him. Like, that's crazy.
Well, he said the first day he completely mucked it up, and then he had Yannick was his teacher, and he said that he got all teary-eyed the second day because he really nailed it. That's crazy to think. That's crazy.
That's wild. And the guys, do you reckon he'll get the Oscar? He'll get the Oscar for it, won't he?
Let's wait till we see the movie, because I've been waiting for this, and I hope to God it's not. I'm not going to say anything. I stopped watching the press junkets.
I don't know why he did the big fucking nose.
Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have. It was unnecessary.
He already has a prominent nose, and that's silly. That's silly.
And Lenny Bernstein was so handsome, such an attractive man, especially as he got older. He was very striking. He's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful looking guy. And Bradley Cooper's very pretty, and he's got a big nose too. He could have got away with it. But Hollywood, they do prosthetics. Maybe, I'm sure he probably regrets it at this point, because if you notice in the earlier scenes, Bradley Cooper is very, very thin and the nose looks even bigger. But when you see the older scenes, the nose fits on his face. So it's got to be context. Anyway, I can't wait to see the movie. I hope I love it, but he's doing way too much press. It's, if you go on YouTube right now, it's like the making of Maestro. And then I watched Bradley Cooper, getting smoke blown so deep up his arse from Spielberg and all these other people. I had to turn it off.
I noticed he's on a few of those. Just for some reason, the past couple of years, there's been this fad of two actors speaking to one another about their roles in different movies.
Oh my
and they're
God.
so fucking painful and contrived. It's really hard to make my way through it. I was trying to watch the Anne Hathaway and what's her name, Emily Blunt one. That's okay. And then Michael Fassbender and the girl you just mentioned from Great Gatsby, the British girl with the brown eyes, the blonde hair.
Yeah,
they were both in Shame years ago, the Steve McQueen film. She's now in Maestro. She's the wife.
Felicia de Montalegre.
And Michael Fassbender, of course, was in Killer, which was to me pretty shitty. But they're talking to each other, and there's so much blowing smoke up each other's ass. And then I saw Bradley Cooper with Emma Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cool, they're funny. Bradley's funny, they're both funny people, but it's just like these two actors saying, "Oh, thank you for saying that means so much, and that's so special, and thank you, and oh my God, that's so amazing that you said that." And
do you know what the worst is? When they ask about another actor, they go, "Oh, he's so generous." When I hear them talk about other actors being generous, I want to grab a bucket and vomit into it. Like, oh my God. Oh, Bradley Cooper, not only as a director, but as an actor. Matt Bomer said he's so generous. Now, Matt Bomer is a very pretty thing who is about as good an actor as Mason Reese or any child actor. I mean, he's just fucking eye candy window dressing, and all he does is show his arse all over. He's making softcore gay porn all over the world right now, and he plays Lenny's secret gay lover in Maestro, and I was like, oh no, he's in this, and he goes, Bradley was so generous.
He was so what does that mean? Like, just on the set, just being complimentary,
being generous with being generous with the acting. He lets me shine in a scene. When it's a scene like when you're doing a heavy scene together, he gives you the room to really shine. I'm being generous. He's being generous with me. Ugh. It's vomitous. Gross.
So generous.
Matt Bomer. I just sat through this horrific movie with a series called Fellow Travelers, where it was really a cool period piece, but it was just so unbelievably graphic and unnecessary.
Shane McQuirk, buy that man a drink, Dirk. What a fantastic live stream. Walkabout yesterday's one, it was pretty monumental, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
It was pretty crazy. Hey, I can't even take that much credit for it. I just happened upon that wild scene with the masks. Oh my god, that was crazy. I really was reminded why Venice is so strange and interesting, and moments like that. It was cool. Thank you, Shane. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a long one. Went on for
I watched the whole thing live.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I kept texting you. I kept commenting, and you were reading them. I was like, who are those people? What are they doing? What do they want? What is that? Why are they at the Gritty? Oh my god! Oh my god! They're going to the Fenice. Oh my god! And then Paul goes, look, Elton John. I was like, oh fuck.
Let me show people, just in case anybody missed it. I'll just give you guys a quick preview. So I just, for some reason, I don't know why, I just decided to jump off at Julia at the that's that particular stop, and start walking. Yeah, and all of a sudden, I started seeing people with masks and stuff, which is like the real Venice shit. It's like eyes wide shut, kind of stuff. It's hours into the thing. I go buy wine. Look at this, walking around like a moron on the boat. And next thing I get off, and I'm like, we come across these masked individuals, these guys here. And it's just like, oh, that's the real Venice. What are they doing? Where are they going? What's going on? So I walked down. This is the Gritty Palace, one of the most famous hotels here. And there's these characters out, with the lamps and so on. So I start following like the trail all along, and there's lots of them all around. I skip past a few cool ones, actually. Look at them. They're just positioned, and they won't say anything to you, and they're just looking ahead. This is the spooky. You're just walking around. This proves that this city is like a stage set. It's what you feel like you're living in. And it led from the Gritty Palace over to the Fenice, the famous theater. And it was like a 20-year commemoration of the rebuilding of the theater. But it just went on and on with these characters. And then there's music. See those speakers on stands? They were playing Vivaldi, I think. And it was like super spooky and crazy. Let me speed this up a little bit for you guys. Just walking around. So I just happened on this. I had no idea this shit was going down. Then I saw the creme de la creme of Venice come out for this event. It was a pretty cool one, I gotta say. It just happened, but it was really nice to show everybody like the vibes of Venice. This guy's like looking the other way. He's supposed to be looking ahead. And then we get up to, I'm just playing on 1.5 speed here, guys. I don't walk that fast. And then we get up to the Fenice, the famous opera house. There's a good restaurant there. I like that place. And Elton John, I guess, played for the 20-year thing. And there was lots of people in fancy clothing and so on. And yeah, it was a cool one, I have to say. I was really delighted. Look at these. I was getting all hot-headed because every woman who came along in a beautiful gown was like 6 foot tall. I was like, Jesus. It was the who's who of Venice happening. So it was very cool. It just happened by accident, but it was very cool. So it worked out as a great stream. It went on for 4 or 5 hours, though. It was wild. Colin Firth made the camera. I don't know if it was Colin. We were trying to figure out if it was Colin Firth. Let me go find that point. Because I heard this guy say something. I was passing. And it was in Italian, but it wasn't. He wasn't. I could tell the accent wasn't fully right. And I was like, is that fucking Colin Firth? I'll look for the spot. I don't know if it was him. It was like a red car, almost like a red carpet kind of thing, I was talking to some friends today in the town, and They were like, yeah, there were mostly politicians, people like that invited. That's how you get invited to that shit. But look at this stuff. Everyone masks on. It's like eyes wide shut. So fucking cool.
Did you see the article I sent you?
I did. I saw
the guy that did all the masks for Eyes Wide Shut is the guy that did. He's the most famous Venetian mask maker there, and he did all the freezes and all.
There's Colin Firth. If it is him, sorry, people are asking about Colin Firth. Go ahead, sorry, man.
Go back.
I'm trying to find the spot. It's such a long stream that even when I touch the fucking playhead here, it goes forward. This guy,
the second guy, that guy right there,
that guy there,
that's Colin Firth. It definitely is. Right height. Look at it. Look at his head. Stop. That's definitely him.
I just saw, I caught his face as I went past. I was like, is that fucking Colin Firth?
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think it is.
Why is that guy wearing that scarf though? It doesn't suit what he was wearing. But yeah, it was
good stuff.
Yeah. And the way people were dressed, and it was so fucking good. Look at these masked.
Took up my whole day because I was like, I couldn't peel myself away.
I know. A lot of people sent me texts saying, "You fucked up my whole." I couldn't get any work done because I was like glued to this episode. You know, it was fucking cool. There's some more sexy couples as well. This couple said hello. Do you remember this pair? I think they were American as well. They come up here soon.
Yeah. They didn't say hello. You said hello. You said you guys look great.
No, they said hi, and I went, you guys look great, and they didn't say a thing.
That's the church I went into to watch Vespers. It was incredible, right?
This guy goes hi, and I said, yeah, you both look beautiful. And they barely said thanks.
They're underdressed compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's great to see that kind of Venice. This she was beautiful. And again, like fucking an inch taller than me. Where's she gone? Look at this. This is the best of Venice. This is what you got to do. You're in Venice, man. You do this shit. Be all royal. Yeah. So I was talking to Simone today, and he was like, "Oh, these are probably all politicians and politicians' wives. That's who gets invited to that shit."
Oh yeah. Well, I read the article, and it was only the people that have purchased. The 1% of people who purchased their top yachts.
Oh, it's them. Oh,
it was invite only for their best customers.
Oh, well then. That's why there was a lot of French and Americans and Chinese and high-level Italians there.
Yeah,
I would have loved to do a watch spotting, inside if I somehow managed to get in, because it would have been Patek, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty fucking stunning. Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Really exciting.
Yeah, it just worked out. I had no idea. I was like, fuck.
It's creepy and spooky and Venetian and all the things that we love about the mystery of Venice. Beautiful.
Incredible. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I have one more product to show everybody.
Do it.
For your Christmas gift. This one's going to get me in trouble. But if you want to show your support against genocide, get yourself a nice keffiyeh. There you go.
Does that instantly tell people that you support Palestine?
Of course. I mean, it's not the red. The red one shows support for the Marxist movement there, or the Liberation Front. That's a bit stronger, but the white one is, So the symbols on the keffiyeh, it's also a great scarf to have. It's very warm. The symbols on the keffiyeh, of course, stand for these are the fishing nets, of course, because fishing off the coast, which they can't do now for about 16 years. These are the fishing nets. These are the waves of water on the edge. Where are they gone? There they are. These are the waves of water. These are the fishing nets. These long lines are the trade routes that they represented. And this shows solidarity and against the mass murder of babies. There you go. There's a frame grab for all the haters of the channel who are all extreme zealots and right-wing maniacs. There. suck it up, motherfuckers. Just
You
love
lefty
that. Just
cunt.
use it. Exactly. Buy yourself a nice keffiyeh. This one cost me $20, and it's super
Do
warm.
they sell
We were
them on
warning
Amazon?
yesterday. They're all over the place, and some of them actually sell it like to help, to send aid. It's very hard to know which ones are actually really doing that, so you've got to tread lightly. I have a list. I might put it on Instagram of the real ones where the money is going to the right place. Of course, it's hard to get anything through there for obvious fucking reasons, but
It always has been.
yeah. So if you have a friend who doesn't like seeing dead babies all over the place, maybe you want to buy them that. And with that, that ends another
Screen
iBashers.
grab.
Oh my God, they're going to screen the. I just gave them content for the whole night. Now they're going to go at it all night. He's a terrorizer.
You're an
He's a terrorist. He's
no, you're an
terrorist.
anti-Semite, is what you.
Oh yes, that's the one. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, it's all fun. Bring it on, guys. That was a good bashers, man. I enjoyed that.
Let them show their face. Bring it on.
So you're on tomorrow night by yourself, yeah?
Tomorrow night by myself. Maybe I'll have Tobster on as my guest. I'll send you.
You should bring him on, mate. I think he has some interesting things to say.
He does.
Like he was chiming in there with some.
He does.
Yeah.
He chimes in all the time, and
Yeah.
some of it's here, some of it's there. I love that guy. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
It might be cool, man. Just bring on opponents.
Do you want to come on? You want to come on my show tomorrow night? We'll talk about anything you want. We'll talk about me going to Palestine and getting stoned to death because I'm a homosexual. Let's talk about that. Come on down.
That's Gaza.
I'm talking to you.
It's not even true. That's Hasbro.
Come on my show. Now, in some parts of the world, it's 100% true. Absolutely true.
Yes.
Remember when Ahmadinejad said, "Oh, we don't have gay people in our country"? Yeah, because they're all dead.
I'll remind you that most fundamentalist Christians across America are
Oh yeah,
extremely against that.
no reminder necessary.
9/11 apparently was the punishment for gays and so on. So
all of that.
Let's stop pointing fingers. Blah blah blah. We can get all crazy on that.
All the same. Hey, the Crusades killed more people than anybody ever in the history of the world. So there you go.
I think Ahmadinejad was also just saying the right thing that a leader of that country should say.
Well, he said we don't have gay people here.
Yes, of course he would say that.
Yeah, that's just
because, of course, that's like saying we don't have fornicators here.
We don't have fornicators. We don't, do we?
Clearly an ignorant statement, but of course he has to say it as a leader. It's the same as Biden going, we 100% support Israel. Actually, your country doesn't, and that's been proven on the streets. But he as a leader has to say these things. Anyway, don't get me started.
Don't get him started.
Don't get me started, fellas. That's for Friday. That's for Friday night.
You ever see that Kristen Wiig skit where she's like, "Oh, don't make me sing. Don't make me sing. Don't make me sing," and she's terrible. It's so great. Don't get him started. Don't get him started. Don't. No, really, don't. Tobster, come on my show tomorrow.
Have fun tomorrow night, man. I'll see all of you guys on Friday night, and I'll see you again, Dirk. This time, same place, same time next week. Goodbye.
Do we have an outro? Do we have an outro?